Okay, looks like it's 1 o'clock. Good afternoon and welcome everyone to our March 2nd Atlanta City Council meeting. I am Council President Marcy Collier, Overstreet. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Good afternoon, Madam President and members of Council. We have Council President Marcy Collier Overstreet, Council Member Michael Julian Bond, Post 1 at Large, Council Member Matt Westmoreland, Post 2 at Large.
Here.
Councilmember Ishay Collins, Post 3 at Large.
Present.
Councilmember Jason H. Winston, District 1.
Here.
Councilmember Kelsey Bond, District 2. Councilmember Byron D. Amos, District 3.
Here.
Councilmember Jason Dozer, District 4.
Present.
Councilmember Liliana Bacchiara, District 5.
Here.
Councilmember Alex 1, District 6. Councilmember Thomas Worthy, District 7.
Present.
Councilmember Mary Norwood, District 8. Councilmember Dustin Hillis, District 9. Councilmember Andrew L. Boone, District 10.
Present.
Councilmember Wayne Martin, District 11.
Present.
Councilmember Antonio Lewis, District 12.
Let's go. Let's get it.
All right.
So now I will entertain.
Madam President, we do have Councilmember Kelsey Bond is coming.
Absolutely.
We do have a
Thank
quorum
you.
of members present.
Thank you. And now I will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Moved by Lewis, second by Martin. Please prepare the vote. Well, that can be done by unanimous consent. Madam Clerk, please sound the count.
$14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays. Actually, I think we need to change to
13.
remove communication.
That's 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. Actually, I think we need to remove an item, so we will need to have one change to the agenda. Will the motion and second still stand? The change will be to remove communications item number 1, 26-C-5013. And is there a second? Second by Bakhtiari. Moved by Martin, second by Bakhtiari. Madam Clerk, because this is an amendment, can you please resound the unanimous consent?
13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays, the consent agenda, the adoption of the agenda has happened. Now we are moving on to invocation. Today our invocation is being delivered by the Reverend Aaron L. Parker of Zion Hill Baptist Church. Reverend Parker, can you please come forward? Thank you so much for being here for us today to deliver our invocation. And take your time.
Let us pray. God, by whom we know through so many names, we first offer thanksgiving for this day, for it provides us another opportunity to right some wrongs, to improve some goods, and continue those deeds that move us closer to a more humane and prosperous city. We make only 2 requests today. First, let every council member of this great metropolis remain acutely aware of their entrusted responsibility to the people, not only the already privileged and affluent, but also the threatened and the marginalized who struggle just to survive every day. May each one cherish this sacred vocation, yielding not to the temptation of avarice and greed, but ever clinging to the commitment of what to do that is best for all. Second, God, we ask that you make this city whole. Bind up some of the fracturedness that we experience. Allow this body that sets policy for people's lives feel the urging and the moving of their tremendous and awesome task. God bless this city inside and out. Bless these council members and its president, Overstreet. Continue, O God, to be with them throughout their deliberations. We thank you. We honor you. We seek wisdom in this moment and in this time. This is our prayer for the good of us all. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Reverend Parker. Really appreciate those words. Now, can everyone please rise and let's recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And we are now at proclamations, commendations, and other special awards. I'd like to first ask everyone that's here for the proclamation for S.L. King and Associates, their 30th anniversary. Can you please come up to the dais? Join me here. All the way. Mr. Slade, you know the routine. Both sides. As a matter of housekeeping, our proclamations are allowed to take up to 15 minutes. each. However, this one will not take that long, but just want to make sure everyone understands that we do our proclamations first.
Am I in the right place?
Yes, this is the right place. Everyone come on in, and some can actually come to this side. I will actually be presenting this particular proclamation, and congratulations ahead of time. Hi. The City of Atlanta just wanted to take a moment to congratulate you on 30 years. It's really no easy feat to be in business, let alone doing really good work for 30 years. And so I want to commend you. As such, we are presenting you with the proclamation, recognizing that S.L. King and Associates is celebrating its 30th anniversary. And it reads, whereas S.L. King and Associates proudly celebrates 30 years of engineering excellence, civic partnership, and transformative impact on January 17th, 2026, marking 3 decades of service to the City of Atlanta, the state of Georgia, and the communities nationwide. And whereas SLKA was founded by Chairman and Founder Mr. Stanley L. King, PELEEDAP, whose long-standing professional relationship with the City of Atlanta reflects decades of trusted collaboration, technical leadership, and steadfast commitment to advancing public infrastructure and improving quality of life. And whereas the 30 years SLKA has distinguished itself as an Atlanta-based engineering consulting firm whose work has helped shape, enhance, and future-proof the city's infrastructure, public safety facilities, transit systems, and cultural landmarks through innovative, sustainable, and resilient design solutions. And whereas SLKA has strengthened the city's public safety infrastructure through MEP and fire protection design for stations number 7, fire station number 36, and the award-winning historic rehabilitation of the West End Fire Station number 7, which was honored with the Atlanta Urban Design Commission's Award of Excellence. And whereas SLKA's future focus expertise is energy, sustainability, and facility assets, has directly benefited the city through its work with the Office of Enterprise Asset Management, including assets of more than 6.4 million square feet of city facilities to guide long-term capital planning and improve employee work environments. And whereas beyond municipal systems, SLKA has contributed engineering services to some of Atlanta's most iconic cultural and entertainment landmarks, including Mercedes-Benz Stadium, State Farm Arena, the World of Coca-Cola Museum, and the Center for Civil and Human Rights. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the members of the Atlanta City Council, on behalf of the residents of the City of Atlanta, do hereby honor Mr. Stanley L. King and commend S.L. King and Associates Incorporated on the occasion of its 30th anniversary. Congratulations. And who would like to speak to this? Please do.
First of all,
Thank you.
should I hold it?
You can.
Okay.
It's yours,
Thank you,
of course.
Council President Overstreet. Thank you so much. And council members, where are they? All of you. Many people ask me, why aren't you retired? I said, it's not in my DNA.
That's right.
And it's not in the Bible. Retirement's not in the Bible. God just has a plan for every one of us. But I'm honored to stand before you to receive this recognition for 30 years. It's actually 40 years,
Wow.
but I'm still here, and I love what I do, but I couldn't do it without my staff. I got to tell you, God is so good. He's been merciful because for 4 years, I had to step away from the business to tend to my wife, who was diagnosed with stage 3 esophageal cancer. And she's doing well. But we're on that journey together, and God got us through that. But he has sustained us for all these years. There's no way I could have done this on my own. We have a very talented team, and we're excited about the future, especially working with young people. One thing I'd love to share with you all is the microgrid. We're working with our clients to reduce their power costs because, you know, it's going up.
Yes.
And so I'm excited about the future and all that we're doing. And I really want to thank the city of Atlanta for blessing us with these opportunities for 30 years. But we've been working all around the country. So we have a great team. We're working with a major HBCU to bring our young people in to learn early this whole renewable energy business, so we can mentor and train them so they can hit the ground running when they get their jobs, because many of these young people are not really prepared. When they come out of school with their college degree, they're really not prepared. So we want to start them early, even as early as junior high, so we can expose them. Because right now we are so far behind in our community with regard to energy and power. So that's our focus right now. I couldn't do it without the talent that we have here behind me. Well, I tell you what, thank God we have, but thank you all so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you all. Council members? Yes. Oh, you want to speak? You all come forward? Yes, absolutely. One more. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Council President.
And with that, we're going to move on to our next proclamation. And this is in recognition of Raquel Hill, and the proclamation will be presented by the Honorable Andrea Boone. So anyone here for the recognition of Raquel Hill, please come forward.
You gotta announce the cakes. It's right here. You gotta announce the cakes. Well, all those that are here to honor our civic and community leader, Raquel Hill, please come forward.
Is that what Mary was here for today? Come on in. Welcome. Welcome.
We got 3 speakers. 2 minutes each. Okay, so
2 minutes.
Chris James.
Okay.
I'm looking for Melvin Cumberland. Pamela Faith Jackson.
Y'all come on in.
And
I think we need more on this side over here if you all want to try to squeeze by.
that's fine. I'm looking for others.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, Kenny Hill.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You see him? I don't see him. Mr. Hill, Pastor Hill, can you come forward?
They just mentioned the news. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Well, we're lucky.
What a magnificent day in the city of Atlanta, the moment we have all been waiting for. Today we are honoring Raquel Hill, our shero, civic and community leader, always there for the people in Southwest, Northwest Atlanta, and beyond. At this time, we will do our official proclamation as we look at our screens at her work. And that is what she is, a true worker for the community and the city of Atlanta. In recognition of Raquel Hill, whereas the city of Atlanta is pleased to honor Raquel Hill today in our fair city. You have always been a beautiful spirit to us, kind, loving, and gentle. Whereas Raquel Hill is a cultural strategist, civic leader, and community steward whose work reflects a deep belief that strong neighborhoods are the foundation of strong cities. And with more than 25 years of experience spanning business, nonprofit leadership, arts advocacy, and public engagement, she has dedicated her career to advancing economic mobility, cultural expression, and collective well-being. Whereas her leadership in the city of Atlanta has fostered meaningful collaboration with institutions such as the Resilience Institute and the Atlanta Public Schools to support leadership development, education initiatives, and community-centered programs that empower residents and cultivate future leaders. And whereas Raquel Hill has also supported neighborhood resilience through community gardens and food access initiatives that nourish families, strengthen relationships, and promote environmental stewardship. And whereas through civic collaboration with the Neighborhood Planning Unit H, the Carroll Heights community, the Adamsville community, and the Atlanta Black Chambers, she has helped connect residents, small businesses, creatives, and policymakers while supporting workforce development and initiatives that encourage economic self-determination. And whereas she is widely respected for convening conversations that translate public policy into accessible dialogue, center lived experiences, and encourage civic participation in decision-making. And whereas through storytelling and the arts, including her one-woman stage work, exploring resilience, identity, and renewal, Raquel Hill has used creative expression to inspire healing, education, and connective. And whereas as the founder of Raquel Hill and Company, she has guided creative and entrepreneurial ventures while mentoring organizations through growth and transformation, leaving a meaningful impact across the city of Atlanta and beyond. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the members of the Atlanta City Council, on behalf of the citizens of Atlanta, do hereby proclaim March 2nd, 2026 as Raquel Hill Day in the city of Atlanta, Georgia. Raquel Hill Day in the city of Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
And now we have those that would like to give a tribute to you. I will call on Pastor Kenny Hill first, who is a dedicated and diligent servant as well. And that is how I met Raquel. I love you both. Thank you for your hard work. Your work has not gone unnoticed. Pastor Kenny Hill.
Thank you, Councilwoman. So Raquel, you know, you and I, we have the same last name. And so people used to ask me, is that your wife? Is that your daughter? Is your sister? And I said, yeah, we're brothers and sisters because we share the same heart. And your heart has been displayed in the work you've done. Your heart has been displayed in the lives you've changed. Some of them are up here with us today, but there's so many more that this room could not hold. The students that you helped become proficient in literacy, who now have a bright future. The businesses that you helped stabilize and create future sense so that they could be sustainable. The single mothers that you helped to house so that their children could grow up safe and in a strong environment. This room cannot hold all the people that you've touched. You uniquely possess the will and the skill to bring transformation to bear in the lives of people. It's been a pleasure to be someone to stand alongside you. It's been an honor to watch you glow and to bring the talents and the gifts that God has placed in you to manifestation, not for yourself, but for the lives of those around you. It's my pleasure, my honor to call you my sister.
And now Pastor Angel of the Path Church. Carroll Heights has been transformed because of the Path Church. Thank you, First Lady, for being here as well. Pastor Angel.
Sister Raquel, Pastor Hill said it very well. This room would not be big enough to hold the people whom you have impacted. I'm proud to say that I have been one of those people. Your consistent love and dedication to love God and love others. And the way you've showed that by the fruit of your life, to not just say it, not just proclaim it, but to live it out every single day. And even as you've gone through your challenges, you've continued to think about others. And for that, I respect you. I admire you. And I'm glad that so many are here today to show their support. As I was standing there, I was just looking around and seeing all the smiles and the tears, because we truly find it a privilege and an honor to be here at this moment with you. God bless you, and we love you.
Our next speaker, Chris James.
You said 20 minutes? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Raquel Hill, amazing human being, as we all know. But I'll skip to the good part. Raquel, she asked me or invited me on her journey a few years ago now to write her stage play, FCK Pink, right? The journey of her relationship with breast cancer. It was an amazing journey. We were able to work together to put that stage play on. I remember you asking, should we get another actor to play me? And the answer was no, because only you could do something so amazing. And for those who got to experience that stage play, you saw how powerful it was. And I'm excited for part 2 of that stage play to become a reality, because you will overcome the season you're in right now, right? So I'm excited for FCK part 2, FCK Pink part 2, right? And Raquel, thank you for always just being the brightest light possible, all right? And I'm excited to continue rocking with rock, all right? So we coining that right now, all right? Love you.
Next, Pamela Jackson.
I don't want to miss anything, so I'm going to read it really quickly. I love you. When I think about how Raquel and I connected, it always brings a smile because it began in a space filled with imagination, purpose, and possibility. We met during a Rensselaerville Spark Plug project development meeting where educators and community leaders were shaping bold ideas for student enrichment. Raquel was a key member of the Spark Plug project We Read Together, founded by Kenneth Hill, which centered on literacy and family engagement. At that time, I received funding for my Spark Plug project, Broadway Babies, an arts initiative serving students from pre-K through middle school using dance and theater to build confidence and discipline and voice. Those projects moved quickly from vision to action in the APS Mays cluster schools, including Adamsville, Lenore Precious Miles, and Young Middle School. One of the most joyful sights from that time was watching our youngest learners being introduced to ballet, and I think you saw some slides today of them. Tiny dancers in tutus and brand new ballet shoes, standing a little taller as they learned posture, grace, and self-belief. That early exposure mattered. It planted seeds. Raquel's talent as a dancer helped make those moments possible, and her impact extended across age groups. She choreographed musical numbers for Broadway Babies, guiding students into performance with professionalism, pride, and joy, helping them understand that excellence and artistry belong to them. Raquel also understood how to tell the story of the work. She used social media not for attention, but for celebration, lifting up students, families, and programs with authenticity and joy. Because of that, people didn't just see performances, they saw purpose. Years later, it felt like a beautiful full circle moment when Raquel joined the Southwest Atlanta High School Alumni Association as a guest, along with other community leaders at our first Legacy Business Roundtable Tea. She arrived just as she always does, with that effervescent smile, thoughtful insights, and scalable, sustainable ideas that strengthen the conversation and the vision. So today, on behalf of Curtis Miller, our chair, and the entire Southwest Atlanta High School Alumni Association, we proudly say, Raquel Hill, this recognition is truly well-deserved. Thank you for the joy you bring, the excellence you model, and the lives you help shape, from tutus and ballet shoes to bright lights on stage and bold ideas in the future. Congratulations.
And now for the lady of the hour, our Shiro. You have shown me so much love since the day I took office. You immediately start giving me assignments. This needs to be cleaned up. This needs to be done. And that, as elected officials, that is what we need. Someone that will speak out and show out. We love you. And I would like to thank all of you all for coming today. We have our MPUH chair, Khalifa Lee, and other members of the MPU here. And many of you have touched her in so many ways, but not like she's touched us. We love you. We love you. We love you. Ladies and gentlemen, Raquel Hill.
So, of course, I wrote a spoken word piece. Okay, all right, my voice might be a little shaky. So before I begin, if my voice shakes, it's because I'm full of the names spoken out loud, full of moments that I didn't know anyone noticed, full of labor that lived quietly and now is being called forward. So thank you to everyone who spoke before me. You held up a mirror and I finally let myself look. I was in the room, sometimes quietly, sometimes briefly, sometimes only long enough to steady the moment before the meeting adjourned and the credit was given elsewhere, but I was there. I've sat at tables with people we call leaders, the Jay Bellies, the Melvin Comans, the Kenny Hills, the Marquis Tates of the world. I don't name them to borrow shine. I name them because I was part of the infrastructure that allowed the work to stand. I wasn't always on the program. My name wasn't always in bold, but I brought clarity, I brought strategy, I brought continuity when things got shaky. I brought the question that slowed the room before a bad decision was made. I brought the plan B that nobody thought they need. I belonged at those tables, not because I asked to be there, but because the work required me. And I didn't just stay in the room. I carried what I learned back to my community, back to small businesses trying to survive on vision alone. I've been a community spark plug, the kind you don't see once the engine is running, but nothing moves without it. I've helped entrepreneurs stand up straight, not with slogans, but with systems, technical support, translations between dreams and documentation, between hustle and sustainability. I've worked campaigns where policy became personal and public decisions land on private lives. I've worked in public so everyday people could understand what was being said about them without them. I've advocated for cancer because survival sharpens your sight, because healing is political, because navigating systems while fighting for your life teaches you exactly where compassion is missing. I dance not for applause, but because movement is how I pray, how I remember joy belongs into my body even after I've learned pain. I garden, I cook, I know how to turn raw things into nourishment. That's not a hobby, that's philosophy. My community, I came back to read to children, to where concrete had been, to pour into communities that poured into me long before the titles ever did. There's a lineage for this kind of work. Ella Baker knew it. That movement don't just need microphones. They need memory, they need translators, they need people who strengthen others without centering themselves. Strong people, strong communities, strong system. So this proclamation read with all of its whereas and therefores, understand it's not just honoring a moment, it's honoring a lifetime of showing up, of holding things together, of being in the room and coming back home to make sure the work meant something. So thank you for seeing me and for honoring the work that doesn't always ask to be seen.
Raquel Hill. Raquel Hill, everybody. Thank you. This is just a small token of our love and appreciation. The city of Atlanta honors you today. And now we will take our official photo, and then if everyone would gather next door to our reception, where we will take more photos, and today is your day in the city of Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, yes.
We are going to introduce her family. Stay where you are. Introduce your family.
So I would like to say that my mom is in the building. She drove from Bogalusa, Louisiana to be here. My sister is in the building. She lives in Atlanta. She's also active in her community, Rosalind Marie. My niece Ava is in the building, who is picking up where her auntie left off. She is a really dope dancer, and she's going to be in California this summer at Debbie Allen's Intensive. All right. And last but not least, my son, Cameron Austin.
All right.
He showed me what unconditional love really looks like.
Oh.
So that's everybody. That's everybody I'm related to.
Congratulations. Today is your day.
Everybody, let's step forward.
Go forward.
Don't leave your jacket, whoever.
Oh, that's mine.
Hey, Khalid, how are you? Come forward, though, so we can see. Should I move this chair? Let me push the chair back. We're working on it.
Everybody in. Figure out why my arm was getting hot.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. It is still warm. I wonder how does it get warm but it stays warm?
It's that double wall.
Yeah, because sometimes when it gets warm,
Yeah.
it doesn't stay warm. This is
I
good.
my jacket out of
That was beautiful. She's great people. Ooh, yes. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, good to see you too. Hi. Good. How you doing? Good. No. People to be with you all the time. It's over here. It's over here. Where's that? Where in the office?
Marcy.
I think Tequila brought him. What are we doing? Okay. Yes.
Right. Thank y'all so much for coming down. Congratulations. See you on Albanelli, right? All right. My father is from Tylertown, Mississippi. Yeah. There we go.
It's also bold to leave it out.
Uncovered for oh, it's taking
I feel like get that.
yeah, get that. Like, yeah, enough family. I like your shoes.
Thank you.
Yeah. I do. You always so fly. Just saying. Oh, I'm making a picture.
I don't think
Oh,
they
this
can
we
see
can come
it.
down, yeah.
Let's gotta go this way.
Yes.
To the left. He wants me to make sure you are down. 300 when I started, they're down to 70.
Yielded speakers.
Okay. And they're,
Yes, ma'am.
oh, not bad.
That's it. I'm gonna just double check with the front to make sure we don't have any more.
Okay. That's something. Okay, that's not what I thought. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna.
What?
Matter of fact, that's what I'll do now. Okay, we'll give everybody just another 30 seconds or so to get to their seats and to travel to the reception. In the meantime, this is the time when our elected officials should have statements. We may need moments of silence. I have one myself. And right now I'm acknowledging Councilmember Boone.
Yes, today we are celebrating the birthday of President Marcy Collier Overstreet and Councilmember Collins. Those that would like a piece of this wonderful homemade birthday cake, strawberry for our president and chocolate for our Councilmember Collins. Please celebrate their birthdays. If you want a piece of cake, just raise your hand. We have plenty of cake here. We love you all. Happy birthday, President Overstreet and Councilmember Collins. Happy birthday.
Should we sing? Happy birthday to y'all. Happy birthday to y'all.
Happy birthday to
Madam
our
President
love,
Enisha Collins.
beautiful colleagues. Happy birthday to you all.
Woo!
Thank you all so very much. I am in love with the cake, and thank goodness it's enough for everyone, because it is. It's enough for everyone. They are huge. Thank you very much. And with that, we will move on to other elected officials that may have something they'd like to share. Anyone else?
Today is the first day of Women's History Month, Madam President. It's a very fitting day that we're celebrating you all's birthdays, but I, as a male member of council, wanted to make sure that we recognize that and said to salute all women in leadership and all women across the city of Atlanta.
Thank you. Councilmember Liliana Bakhtiari.
Sure, right now is a good time.
Sure. Well, first I wanted to also wish a happy early birthday to Councilmember Norwood, who's also a March baby. Wave season, as Council President calls it.
Wave season.
Just a couple of things in terms of remembrances. I didn't say something the last time we were here because it was still too fresh, and I don't think I could have gotten through it. But I don't know if anyone knows Dara Metcalf, but she was a really big name in the Cabbagetown community in terms of healing and in terms of just like, in terms of being a mentor to a lot of people in the community. She was a mentor of mine. And I will not say that she lost her battle with ovarian cancer. She fought it very strongly and met her end with a lot of acceptance and passed in her husband's arms. And I just wanted to highlight her. And one other thing I wanted to say, using my platform for a personal issue. And for those who may not know, on this past weekend, the supreme leader of Iran was killed, which is something to be celebrated because it's undoubted that many, many lives will benefit as a result. But I hope that you'll keep my family and others in prayers because this affects a lot of us in our city and everywhere. I have not been in touch with my family since the power went out, but I hope that you can continue to keep people in your prayers because now when the real battle fight starts, and I hope that you'll join me in praying for real democracy in that country and that Iranian people here and abroad will be safe. So anyways, I just wanted to take a moment to say that. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing, Councilmember Bakhtiari. Councilmember Amos?
Yes, Madam President, I want to take this time to stand up and lift up the name of little Miss Zoe Price. Miss Price was the 7-year-old constituent of District 3 that unfortunately lost her life. Her only crime was growing up and playing in her own house and was struck by a stray bullet last week. Also like to mention her mother's name, Miss Cassandra Irvin, as well. Look, people, I understand there's a street code, but somebody out there knows something. And I have to remind you, it's only snitching if you was involved. And if you was involved, we're going to find you too. So I just want to lift up the name of Ms. Zoe Price and Ms. Irvin as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Amos. Councilmember Antonio Lewis?
I stand with Councilmember Amos and lifting up the name of Zoe Price. See something, say something. Only snitching if you were involved. Once again, I truly appreciate Councilmember Amos for being loud. It's snitching if you were involved. If not, this is a child, it's a little girl murdered in our community in Zone 3. Say something about this. Don't nobody care? Don't nobody care? Thank you again.
Thank you, Councilmember Lewis. Anyone else? Everyone changed their mind. Okay, so I would like to also share one of our team members. I would like to ask for prayers and a moment of silence for Mr. Lamar Park. He is battling liver cancer and he's still undergoing treatment, and we hope that he will get better as soon as possible and head right back to City Hall. But I'd also like to put him on the list of the moment of silence and last chance of anyone else, if there's anyone else. Okay, with that being said, let's take a moment of silence for everyone that needs it at this time. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the remarks from the public. We will now have our remarks from the public. And I do have my list before me. Each speaker will get 2 minutes or up to a maximum of 10 minutes with donated time pursuant to our city code, which we will set out copies of the city code for everyone to read as to how we conduct our public comment here at the City of Atlanta. And our first 3 speakers, you all may come forward. We have Ms. Antapaka L., Mr. Devin Franklin, and Ms. Henri Jordan. Each will have 2 minutes. First speaker, if you can help me with your name, if I butchered it, I apologize ahead of time.
My appellation is Atampoka. Look at it, Atampoka L.
Ms. Atampoka L., you have 2 minutes.
Okay, I'm here this morning because I am Moorish American, and I have two proclamations, one by C.T. Martin and one from the State House Resolution 1203. And both proclamations clearly state that we are descendants of the people in the Bible, and that we are members of the human race, and also we are certified in the Library of Congress Certificate AA 222141 as the highest form of nationality in this, well, I would say the continent of North America. The problem is that we need to be recognized as American. We are nationals. We have a nation called America, and as that, we are classified as American, and we have rights that are our rights secured by the Constitution for the United States, as well as the Constitution of the United States of America. Okay, this is our nation, and also both documents indicate that we are aboriginals and also indigenous to the Americas, and that include North America, South America, Central America, and the surrounding islands. And so it also says that we are members of the human race. We are not Negro, Black, or colored. It also means we are not citizens of the United States because we have a nationality, we have a nation, and we need to be recognized as such. And I'm willing to do anything I can do, working with the city of Atlanta, state of Georgia, so that we receive proper recognition. And also, it also indicates that we have a different political status. And it also indicates that we do have our own government, but our government is also based on the Constitution for the United States of America. And this is all I have to say. But we are.
Thank you, Ms. Atampoka
recognized as
L.
such. Atampoka L.
Atampoka L. Thank you
Thanks.
so much for coming and speaking with us. Mr. Devin Franklin, you have 2 minutes.
There is a saying that applies to people and systems that often find themselves in a rut or a repeated cycle of falling short. That saying is that we are so conditioned that our condition is conditioned. And what that means is that oftentimes we are limited by our patterns and practices and the conviction of how we believe things should work. Such historically has been the case of the Atlanta Police Department and their usage, or rather their underutilization of diversion here in the city of Atlanta. We understand that it is not always easy or smooth to teach an old dog new tricks. However, we also recognize when the urgency of the moment supersedes our ability to exercise patience in the proverbial dog to teach itself the new trick. We don't always have patience for them to wait to father new and better ways to do what is asked. We understand that sometimes a loving nudge is needed to provide accountability and transparency. Such is the case with Resolution 26R 3234, which you all, I believe, will be considering today. And on behalf of the Southern Center for Human Rights and myself today, I offer our support in your consideration of the resolution, which seeks to make this body a more active partner in ensuring that the Atlanta Police Department and the city of Atlanta itself does its part in ensuring that people accused of quality of life offenses are not categorically condemned to incarceration in the city of Atlanta, particularly where better, more responsive, and already invested alternatives are available. I have spoken to you all previously ad nauseum about the negative impact of a reliance on incarceration-first strategies, the negative impact on jail population, on the humanitarian crisis at the Fulton County Jail, and on recidivism. And today I ask that you all vote in support of this resolution as a symptomatic step of this partnership between not only the City Council and the police, but also community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Franklin. Henri Jordan is our next speaker. Ms. Jordan, you have 2 minutes.
Giving out the Spirit of God to everyone that's here. For the Lord God is God of gods, and Lord of lords, a great God of mighty and terrible, which regardeth not persons, nor taketh reward. Deuteronomy 10, chapter 17, verse. If that which hinders is cut away, there will be a submission to the will of God and the end of stubbornness. Help us not to fight against you, Jesus, because we need you. You cannot bribe God. I tell you, nay, but except you repent, you shall all likewise perish. Luke 13, chapter 3, verse. Jesus reminds that all are deserving of a violent fate that can be avoided only by turning in repentance to a merciful God. If we obey Satan, we invite trouble. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sinners reproach sin and people. Proverbs 14, chapter 34th verse. National righteousness and national sin have opposite effects. Exhortation versus reproach. Christ died to give us power to fight sin. Abstain from all appearance of evil. 1 Thessalonians 5th chapter 22nd verse. To give thanks in adversity is a Jesus-given gift. You ask me to lie and reject what Christ has done in me, through me. I had a vision, whiteness, or angels in my presence because I heard someone say, James Griffith's not playing with me. I need Jesus' help. What about you? Thank you. I thank God that he gave me a mind to praise him, to seek him, because we living on his time, not our time. He gave it to us. We didn't give it to ourselves. You owe it to Jesus to live for him. I owe it. I need it.
Thank you, Ms. Jordan. Our next three speakers, Michael Collins, Tracy Thornhill, Giovanni Serrano. You have 2 minutes each. Michael Collins, you have 2 minutes.
Hey everybody, Michael Collins with Playfair ATL, the World Cup Coalition. Very grateful to the council for all the meetings that we've done. We had a really great meeting with Council President Overstreet. Happy birthday. Mr. Amos met with you a couple of weeks ago. It was a very fruitful discussion. Council Member Norwood, your staffer, called me a couple of weeks ago. We had a good conversation about the World Cup. Council Member Martin, I heard you on the radio, Mr. Worthy as well, on Rose Scott doing a great job. You know, we're still looking to meet with Council Members Boone, Hillis, Worthy and Wan, so the door is open. Come meet with your favourite coalition. We're very appreciative that the Council unanimously passed 2 weeks ago Jason Dozier's resolution, and we're here today in the hope that the Council will move forward with what was a part of that resolution and part of the policy platform, which is endorsing diversion in advance of the World Cup. Council Member Kelsey Bond has a resolution before you today, and I just want to take a quick show of hands of people who are here because they support Kelsey Bond's resolution. Okay, awesome. You know, we like to see this accountability and openness with the City Council when it comes to the World Cup and getting involved. It's not always been that way. Unfortunately, one of the dynamics of the World Cup here in Atlanta is that there are certain bodies that are not accountable to us when it comes to the World Cup. We've had a lot of trouble with the Human Rights Action Plan that's come out of One Atlanta, the Mayor's office. The host committee and the Sports Council are so far unaccountable and unwilling to meet with our coalition, and Georgia World Congress Centre as well, that does the contracts, haven't been responsive. And that's why we need this chamber to step up. You know, we know from the Chamber of Commerce that $1 billion is coming to the city for the World Cup, but the tax revenue is only going to be $4 million, which is a shockingly small amount. So let's fix that, let's stand up and let's work together.
Thank you, Mr. Collins. Next is Tracy Thornhill. You have 2 minutes.
Good afternoon, Councilor, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
Ishe, I don't see you over there, but happy birthday. But I'm here today just to talk about our retirees. I'm a 33-year employee of the city of Atlanta, and last couple of years we've gotten about a 2.5% increase. The problem with that is that the insurance is going up so high until you're losing about $100. after you get that 2.5%. This has been going on for the last 2 years. And I want to bring y'all attention to it so somebody can put a stop to it. You know, 33 years, Public Works, we have a retirement breakfast every 4 months. And in that retirement breakfast, this is what comes to me. Thornhill, why they keep going up on the insurance? Thornhill, why my insurance? I'm losing money every year. I'm losing money. And you're talking about people that's already on a fixed income. And you turn around and you give them an increase, but you take it back in the insurance. So I'm bringing light to that so somebody can do something about it. I'll be at the pension board talking about it this month. So I just want to let y'all know what's coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thornhill. Our next speaker, Giovanni Serrano.
Good afternoon. My name is Giovanni. I'm an organizer with the Georgia Latino Alliance for Human Rights, GLAR. And GLAR is a member of Community Over Cages Coalition. And today, we're standing in support of Resolution 26R3234. For those diversion is the key to reimagine what public safety looks like. It is a step forward to take power away from the prison industrial complex. We saw a significant growth in the 1970s. We saw how they passed legislations to use the narrative where they were criminals, they committed a certain crime and they need to be in jail. And that's something that has been conditioned throughout the years and where we allow the criminalization of our community members and have continued to put community members in these detention centers and jails that are making profit out of the suffering of our community members, out of the humanization of community members. We also, saw how, these laws that were passed to criminalize community members impacted a powerful Black community to destabilize it and condition us that, that safety is rooted in criminalization. The same thing we're seeing through the passage of different legislations to further criminalize also the immigrant community and the further expansion of sheriffs in the state of Georgia who want to expand their jail capacity, as well as the nationwide movement to increase the capacity to hold immigrant community members. We know that it has never been about public safety, but the criminalization of our bodies. If that was the case, why is many immigrants who are living in the country are stopped by Border Patrol and put in detention centers? We have a case of a community member from Senegal who is paying a whole year in detention. They were making money out of her humanity each and every day. So that's why we support diversion, because it is a step forward to take our humanity back. Thank you.
Thank you. Next three speakers, Matthew Barbette, Christina Kittle, and Cameron Michelson. Mr. Barbette, you have 2 minutes.
Yes, so hi. Very inspired to see a lot of people here today that I've known for years and the press. I am going to break a rule. I'm going to name a lot of you by name, so that means you can respond to me. No. I want to say that I am more optimistic about this council than I have been in years. I have talked to Mr. Martin. I have talked to Ms. Bond. I have talked to Mr. Worthy, and I am very impressed with their willingness to come in. I've known some of you for a while. I know Mr. Winston. I spoke to Mr. Amos at PSE. Jason Dozier has been fantastic. I apologize for being familiar with some people. Alex is the one I trust more than anyone, because over the last 15 years, he's the only one that's also gone gray. So that's not an accusation, but that is an observation. But I also think that he's using the purple dye to keep his silver shining. Mary is still as effervescent and full of energy as anyone. And Matt always responds when I recommend a book and says, I'm reading it now. Unfortunately, I do have to say that in District 12, things are going on that we are being accused of racism. We are being accused of divisiveness. We are being accused of lying. We are being accused of misinformation. We are not having the plans for our neighborhood being implemented. And I hope that all of you see yourselves as council members for the city and not council members that just give council consent and ward privilege. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Next speaker, Christina Kittle. You have
Good
2 minutes.
afternoon. My name is Christina Kittle. I'm a criminal justice and education organizer with the Legal Defense Fund. For 80 years, LDF has worked at the national, state, and local levels, including here in Atlanta, to pursue racial justice and eliminate structural barriers for Black communities. In January 2025, Atlanta and Fulton County opened the Center for Diversion Services, a crucial step towards diverting Atlantans away from systems of incarceration and towards systems of care. The city and county have committed $5 million in taxpayer funding to support the project annually. The center operates 24/7, and when opened, it was projected to divert 10,500 people from jail per year. Sadly, the center remains woefully underutilized, with only 1,514 diversions made in 2025. These figures make it starkly clear that the city must do more to ensure that the Atlanta Police Department promotes diversions as the first response to many low-level offenses. The City Council could play a role in setting that expectation by passing Resolution 3234, which unequivocally names diversion as the presumptive response for eligible offenses and urges officials to expand its use. With the FIFA World Cup approaching, Atlanta will see a significant increase in visitors and public activity. The city should be preparing now to manage low-level offenses in ways that are efficient, effective, and humane, rather than relying on punitive measures that will only criminalize poverty and exacerbate the humanitarian crisis at the Fulton County Jail at a time when the world's attention will be on the city. Now's the time for Atlanta to implement effective, innovative, and compassionate responses to our community's needs that address the root causes of low-level offenses rather than compounding the underlying problems. We hope you seize this opportunity to be leaders in redefining a public safety model that actually works to keep people safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kittle. Cameron Michelson, you have 2 minutes.
Hello, my name is Cameron Michelson. I'm the lead organizer and political director for the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades, District Council 77, representing over 2,000 working people across the Southeast and several hundred right here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'll be speaking in favor of Resolution 3234 for diversion. Myself, I'm a resident of Atlanta, Georgia, a previous resident of the Atlanta City Detention Center, and a previous resident of the DeKalb County Jail on separate occasions. I was lucky enough, both times that I have been arrested, to have had a job with strong union protections so that my life could go on well after I was released, continue to make money and support myself. Many of my neighbors, my friends, people who live in the city do not have that same privilege that I have, and are often, when arrested for low-level offenses, have their lives completely thrown off track and are unable to recover without a lot of help and assistance from those in and around them, or if they're lucky enough to find a job. Many of these jobs don't want to hire people who have been through our criminal justice system. We have an opportunity here as a city to change that. We have an opportunity to help people instead of hurt people. We have an opportunity to understand that because you have been arrested, that does not make a moral statement about you. That because of the maybe decisions you made or did not choose to make, but whatever situation you are in, that is not a moral statement about you. We have an opportunity to fix the way we do business here. Many of you I've spoken with one-on-one when we decide whether or not we would support your campaigns. And I've told you as a longtime resident growing up in this city that this city, as much as I love it, constantly breaks my heart. Please do not break my heart today and do the right thing, and let's help people instead of hurt them. Thank you.
This is it right now. Thank you. Our next 3 speakers, Owusu Hadori, Stephen Imel, and David Sereno. Each will have 2 minutes. Owusu Hadori, 2 minutes.
Good afternoon. I'm here representing the neighbors on Sloan Circle. It's been a difficult time. We've had at least 85 years of no sidewalks, no gutters, no street paving, and that totally stifles the ability for people to develop a sense of community. I'm certain that the more we look at this, the more we'll understand that this is something that needs to be rectified immediately. I remember in the 60s and 70s, as I was in high school and college, being always told when we went before different governmental bodies that we had to wait and be patient. And I would think that coming to a body like this in the city of Atlanta, waiting and patience is not what got anything done. This kind of neglect has to be rectified in a much more expedient process. I've heard that there will be a new funding cycle beginning in 2027. And once those funds come for roads and streets, then perhaps in 7 to 10 years, this situation will be resolved. It reminds me so much of asking for rights of citizenship and things like that, and being told that you're pushing too fast and you need to wait and be patient. We're not gonna be patient and wait. We're gonna keep reminding this city that this street needs to be taken care of, and we would like to get it done as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker, Stephen Imel.
My name is Stephen Imel. I am a District 2 resident, and I am here to urge all of you to pass Councilmember Kelsey Bond's diversion resolution. Something that a ton of people know about me is that I've spent a few nights in jail. I was pulled over for what should have been felony-level speeding when I was young and dumb. I spent 3 nights in jail for something that could have been up to 90 days under Alabama law, but because I am white, I was given leniency where many others would not have been. Starting from the officer who pulled me over, who did not charge me with the felony, to the judge who sentenced me to just a weekend in jail. It was only 3 nights, but it was more than enough time to see just how much effort is put into ruining the lives of people just for being poor. Many people in the massive dormitory I was placed in did not have a mattress, sheets, or materials necessary to even care for themselves. Asking for any of those things was met with violence, and on the same day I was booked, another person booked alongside me was put in solitary confinement for calling out this lack of care. Many people in that jail were there for crimes far less serious than my own. But my privilege was that I was viewed as someone who the law could be lenient to. Many people in this city are not extended this privilege. We cannot continue to allow our officers to ignore our diversion system and jail people for being poor. Crimes of poverty are a failure of policy. We must extend the same privilege I have received to those who are less fortunate, less well off, and who the system has simply abandoned. We know that diversion helps prevent this cycle of violence that our carceral system perpetuates. Pass the diversion resolution put forth by Councilmember Kelsey Bond and compel our officers to properly utilize our diversion services. Thank you.
Mr. Imel, David Serrano, you have 2 minutes.
Hello, Atlanta City Council members. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. My name is David Serrano, and I'm a recently sheltered resident of Atlanta. I've lived here on the streets here for about 4 months before I was able to afford a room on the west side about a month ago. I work at a part-time job at Atlanta to afford my room while I'm trying to start my own business. I have been volunteering a few days a week at the In-Town Cares food pantry near Ponce Library, and I interact with a lot of members of Atlanta's diverse population here. Many I talk to live in poverty, are homeless. Many are disabled, are addicted to drugs and alcohol, or have mental health issues. Many are immigrants or American citizens transitioning to Atlanta from other locations around the country, like myself. I also volunteered for the recent January pit count and saw firsthand the desperation in the faces of unsheltered, forgotten citizens of the city. Happens in all cities. I'm here today as my ability to afford my weekly rent and afford basic necessities like food, healthcare, transportation, phone and internet service is extremely difficult. I'm constantly preparing to survive going back to an unsheltered life. This worries me as I've heard reports that local governments are passing laws criminalizing homelessness. I've also learned that back in 1996, the city of Atlanta was pretty cruel in their policy in terms of throwing about 9,000 unsheltered citizens in the county jail before the Olympics. That is the opposite of public safety. Now the FIFA World Cup is here. Are we here to expect the same cruelty? I'm mainly here today commenting on the use of APD's pre-arrest diversion programs. I've recently heard that it's really being underutilized. It has 40 beds available per day, and only about 3 to 4 diverted cases per day are sent there from APD. That is sorely underutilized. What's the problem? Have low-level defenses disappeared for Atlanta? Are all Atlanta crimes that are violent not being diverted? Or are APD officers not aware of the pre-arrest diversion protocols? Recently, I heard Mayor Andre speak publicly with California governor on the subject of homelessness and diversion programs, saying these are working, but the data actually is not true here in Atlanta. Atlanta's diversion
Mr.
programs
Serrano,
are
your
not being
time
used
is up.
properly.
Thank you.
And I just want to say to stop the cruelty and pass the resolution.
Our next 3 speakers, Reginald Mason, Nell Pepper, and Davita Huntley. You each have 2 minutes. Can you come forward? Reginald Mason. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Reginald Mason. I own property in the English Avenue area, lots in the English Avenue area. I just wanted to introduce myself to the district leadership and the community as a local owner exploring small-scale residential development and alignment with the existing SPI 3 framework. My parcels are currently in SA1. I am evaluating whether to a modest transition to SA3 for duplex-style housing, knowing if that would be appropriate, especially given the adjacent SA3 areas nearby. Before moving forward formally, I wanted to show up, listen what's going on in the community, and understand the district's perspective. I look forward to working collaboratively and being part of the long-term improvement of the community and in the condor of the area of the English Avenue and the historic districts of Midtown Atlanta. Thank you, and I appreciate everything.
Thank you for introducing yourself, Mr. Mason. Nell Pepper, you have 2 minutes.
All right. Hello, as so stated, my name is Nell Pepper. I'm a District 2 resident and voter, and I'm here to speak in favor of Councilmember Bond's Resolution 26R 3234, supporting diversion services. Passing this resolution is one way for the city to demonstrate that it is using all the tools available to help our neighbors struggling with poverty, mental illness, and addiction, rather than jailing them for needing assistance. The city opened the Center for Diversion and Services a little over a year ago, and both Atlantans and city visitors deserve the center to function at its fullest capacity. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pepper. Davita Huntley, you have 2 minutes.
Good afternoon. First, I want to say thank you, truly. I want to thank Mayor Andre Dickens for reaching out and standing with this family during an unthinkable time. Your presence and your leadership matters. To Mrs. Vanessa Manley, thank you for your compassion, your calls, and your support behind the scenes. It does not go unnoticed. To the members of the Atlanta City Council who have responded and shown up, thank you for your caring about our children, not just in policy, but in person. And to the Atlanta Police Department and the Atlanta Fire Rescue Department, thank you for your professionalism, your urgency, and the care you've shown this family in the midst of heartbreak. Today, we are talking about baby Zoe Nicole Price, just 7 years old, a first grader, a cheerleader at Dunbar Recreation Center, a baby. She was tragically taken on my birthday, February 24th. A day that will forever hold a different meaning for so many of us. Zoe's family will begin celebrating her life this evening at 5 p.m. with a candlelight vigil at the Dunbar Recreation Center where she proudly cheered. And we invite everyone who can come out to stand together and surround this family with love. Her celebration of life will be held on Saturday, March the 7th at the West Hunter Street Baptist Church. Any assistance that has been provided and any that will be provided in the days to come is deeply appreciated. The family needs us, not just today, but in the weeks and months to come. Let's honor Zoe not only with our words, but with our presence, our prayers, and our continued support. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Ms. Huntley. Our last 2-minute speaker is Denise Rubin. You can come forward, and then we will move on to our donated time list. Ms. Rubin, you have 2 minutes.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Denise Rubin. I am a community member, community organizer, and a member of the Greenbrier community. I'm here to support the diversion resolution. And I just want to say that I know that it works firsthand. I've been out, I've spoken to police officers about using the services, and I think if we just utilize that it'll be better for, for Atlanta. This accountability is urgent with the World Cup coming. All eyes will be on us. And I think arresting people for experiencing poverty or mental health crisis does not solve the root issue. It fractures our communities and drains city resources. So Resolution 26R3234 ensures APD prioritizes community-based diversion and remains transparent about this. I urge you to vote yes, because it does work for the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, excuse me. If you come over to the side, I'll come over and speak with you. Excuse me, can you come to the mic? What is your name?
My name is Marmotria Tramiel.
Yes, you have 4 minutes. But it's not your turn yet.
Okay.
I will call you.
She was the last one.
I said for the 2-minute speakers, I have donated time list as well.
The donated time list?
Yes.
Am I next?
Yes.
Okay.
Not next. No, not yet. Not next. Yeah. My next speaker is Moki. And you have 4 minutes. Your donated time was from Ms. Denise White, and I see her in the audience already.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moki Macias.
Macias, sorry.
You're fine. Good to see you. Moki Macias, Executive Director of PAD. It's great to see all of you here today. It's also been wonderful having a few of you out to the new PAD office in Mechanicsville, and I extend that invitation to anybody who has not yet gone for a ride along with our team or been out to see our new office. You are invited, so I hope we get to see each of you there. I'm here today because pre-arrest diversion is a group project. This proactive, practical strategy is a result of over a decade of collaboration between people with lived experience, community organizations, local governments, public defenders, law enforcement, recovery advocates, and many others. The purpose is simple. People are diverted pre-arrest because we all agree that some violations do not need to be handled by the criminal justice system at all. They need to be addressed through supportive services. The Diversion Center, which is operated by Grady Hospital, now allows us to provide a 24/7 alternative to jail. But systems change requires more than just a building. It will require transparency and ongoing collaboration amongst all stakeholders to get to scale and significantly impact the jail population. As you know, PAD has advocated for pre-arrest diversion in Atlanta since 2017 as an organization that evolved out of community demands for alternatives. Today, we send our teams out instead of police so that we can reduce the number of police interactions for people who need care. But we also provide that care when the police interaction has already occurred and they're diverted to the center. PAD Care Navigators provide case management, respite housing, and direct resources to people who are referred through the center. What is special about what we do is that once somebody is connected to PAD, we provide ongoing support for as long as they need it. We also conduct coordinated entry assessments, offer immediate shelter, and continue to support them as they transition into permanent housing solutions. Mr. Williams is one of the people we've worked with recently. He was diverted to the Center for Criminal Trespass while he was experiencing homelessness. He worked with his care navigator to establish 3 goals: obtain housing, obtain documentation, and find employment. We placed him in a 90-day temporary shelter program and have worked with him to successfully obtain identification documents. He's now doc ready in the housing queue and has applied for SNAP benefits. He just recently completed the application and interview process for a workforce training program and is preparing for orientation so that he can begin working and accomplish his 3rd goal. This is the kind of stability and reconnection to purpose that can result from diversion. We applaud the 1,300 diversions made by APD last year, and we know we can continue to scale the use of diversion so that it becomes the default response for people like Mr. Williams. The resolution before you today is an important step toward this because it ensures consistent dialogue about center utilization. Currently, the data available reflect only how often the center is used. The strength of this legislation is that it completes the picture. So not only are we looking at who is able to benefit from diversion, we are also making sure to look at who was not able to. Understanding the number of arrests and citations for low-level violations is critical. Understanding officers' rationale for not diverting is also critical. It is this information that will allow us to address barriers in training, protocol, or practice that may be keeping us from fully utilizing this resource. By understanding the full scale of the problem, we can work together to continue to reduce the criminalization of people who are in mental health distress, struggling with addiction, or who are unhoused. And we can ensure that the investments our city has already made in diversion and alternate response are fully utilized, well supported, and championed as the innovative, compassionate public safety strategies Atlantans had asked for. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Macias. Our next speaker is Matthew Nursey. Matthew Nursey, you have 4 minutes. Your donated time is from Nate Knopf. Are you here?
They're here.
Okay.
All right.
4 minutes.
Yeah. Thank you, Council. My name is Matthew Nursey. I am an organizer with the Housing Justice League. It's no doubt that we are in an affordability crisis right now. Costs are rising while wages stay stagnant. Federal funding cuts for housing, cuts to HUD. They want to do it away completely with Section 8 vouchers. Across the street in the Demon Dome over there, they're trying to pass House Bill 295, which criminalizes the unhoused and our immigrant neighbors. They're also trying to pass House Bill 61, which will expedite the eviction process and extended stays in motels. The eviction lab data came out just recently that shows thousands of evictions a week are being carried out in Metro Atlanta. Parking lots are the new apartments as people are living in their cars. Many apartments won't rent to someone who has a criminal record. In the face of all of this, we need a city government that's willing to step up to the plate. We fancy ourselves as progressive, as the leaders of the South. As an example, the cradle of the civil rights movement, home of Dr. King, Hosea Williams, and many more. But let's look at the record recently. And I'll commend the mayor and the council for making housing a priority, but it's not enough. A third of our budget goes to police. How many millions of dollars spent on Cop City and all that that entails? We're the most surveilled city in the country, showing what our real budget priorities are. We have a policy of sweeping encampments without offering a stable and permanent home to our unhoused neighbors. Just over a year ago, the city crushed a man to death by failed city policy in the form of a front loader. His name was Cornelius Taylor. The World Cup is coming, and we are woefully underprepared. The Downtown Rising Plan says that it'll house about 400 units versus the 4,000 unhoused individuals we have currently in Atlanta. The 1996 Olympics showed us that, thousands of unhoused neighbors will be arrested and bussed out. That was a stain on our city's history. The way just like we bussed out many unhoused, we brought in undocumented immigrant workers to build all the infrastructure for an Olympic Games, only to turn around and criminalize that same community once the games came and went. The World Cup is going to bring so much revenue. We should put it towards things that will help alleviate the housing crisis, like an Office of the Tenant Advocate that will provide legal defense against evictions for low-income individuals, know your rights and tenant union trainings, and emergency housing, building more truly and deeply affordable social housing. We can begin the process of a more fair and equitable World Cup that ensures we uphold the rights and protections of all of our neighbors by making it the city's mission to move away from over-policing and toward the intentional utilization of diversion opportunities as the primary form of dealing with nonviolent and petty offenses. We can do it today with the legislation that will be put forward in front of you by Councilmember Bond. We need to start funding communities, not cops. We need to stop the encampment sweeps once and for all, and we need housing for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nursey. Our last speaker is Ms. Lamitria Trammell. Trammell, you have 4 minutes. You have time donated to you by Quincy Haslam. Are you in the audience today?
Yes, I am.
Quincy. Thank you.
Well, hello, everyone, the citizens of Atlanta. I am Lamitria Trammell. For those of you who don't know, I am the real mayor of Atlanta, Georgia. I qualified in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution on the day that I was able to qualify. This is my representation. It says here in Atlanta Journal-Constitution, notice of write-in candidacy, Lamitria Trammell, mayor of Atlanta, election date November the 4th, 2025, published in accordance with OCGA 21-2-133. So, what I'm telling you guys is I have the authority and I have the power of Christ invested into me. The fire, all of you guys are considered fire. Marcy, Lithiania, Dustin, Mary Norwood, Antonio Lewis, you too. Because I mentioned you on Facebook, Instagram, and you blocked me. You don't want to take no more mentions. Eshay Collins, Ishay Collins, you too. Because as far as I'm concerned, all of you guys are guilty of murder, of the death of my father, who died here in the city of Atlanta over a year ago. Today would be his anniversary day. So that's the only reason why I'm here. I'm here to speak up for my father, Larry Darnell Ferguson. Ain't no way in the world y'all gonna find my father in the city of Atlanta vital records and think you're gonna get away with it. And then Corinne Lindo, stand up. Stand up, stand up. You are the municipal clerk. You the one that said that I could not qualify. So what makes me not eligible to qualify for a write-in candidacy? What makes me not eligible? I can run. I got 2 feet. I got 10 toes. I can think. I applied myself through Atlanta Metropolitan School by myself. I did the financial aid. I've been applying myself. So what makes you think I'm not eligible to run? You are fired. And if you keep on operating, you are leaving the citizens of Atlanta in danger. So you guys are putting the danger of my citizens at harm. I'm down here on a mission. I don't need a job. I don't need money. I need to support my family, and my dad that you guys just killed. Don't look at me like you stupid. I need answers. I need answers. You're not gonna whack my grandmother like you did my citizens' grandmother. You're not gonna keep whacking us like you did my great-grandmother, like you did my great-grandfather. I come from bloodline. I still got 105. My 105 is about to be 106 in June. I come from great bloodline. You can't have my blood. Now, I know that you guys are practicing inside of the churches. I know that you guys work with Ebenezer Baptist Church. I know that you guys work with, what's his name? Raphael Warnock. He shouldn't be a pastor. If he's going to be a senator, he needs to step down one or the other. I'm not here to make y'all figure this out, but just know where y'all finna go out. And when y'all go out, I'm coming in. God says y'all ain't got no more time. Y'all ain't got that much time left. So get ready to pack your bags. And you can get the boot like y'all did my daddy. Y'all can get the boot. I'll kick you out myself. I know who I am. Y'all ain't gonna tell me who I ain't. Don't look at me, nigga. You a sellout. All y'all some sellouts. Y'all ain't real. I'm coming here through Christ. You don't run me. I run this. You can keep looking like you laughing. What you laughing at, Liliana? You ain't did nothing for the city. Shut up. Ha, nothing. Evil witch. You just sitting there. I seen you send me one postcard. But when I was running for the mayor, where was you? Exactly. You don't know shit that's going on in my community. Don't try to shoot me out because it's my
Thank you, Ms.
city of
Tamel.
Atlanta. It ain't
That's
no
your
thank
time.
you, Miss Marciana, because you ain't getting voted. Show me how y'all do black people. Come get the police on me and show me how y'all fight black people.
That won't be necessary.
Black people. Show me how y'all dismiss them. Show me how y'all put your hands on them. Show me how y'all abuse them.
Mr. Mel, please release the mic. The microphone is off. Don't do that.
Now what? You don't do that. You sit right here dying.
We listen to you.
Oh, you ain't told me no.
We listen to you.
What about the devil, my father, down on your Ferguson? What about that? You ain't listening to nothing.
Okay.
Come on now. Go get your hands up. Come on. Next.
Do we need to call an officer?
Call him and show him how y'all treat us.
Well,
I don't think we need to call an officer. I think if anything, pad. Not an officer. If anything, pad.
Council members, if you cannot speak. It's okay. It's okay. Nobody wants to beat you up. Not anybody. Nobody wants to beat you up. No. Nobody wants to beat you up. Nobody wants to beat you up. No. Nobody wants to beat you up. Ms. Trammell. Ms. Trammell, can we speak to you outside of the council chamber?
Get out of my seat. 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 Get out of my seat.
Ms. Trammell.
Get out of my seat. 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 Get out of my seat.
No, ma'am.
Get out of my seat.
Okay.
Get out of my seat. Get out of my seat. This is my shit. I'm running. God put me in a point. You niggas ain't representing.
Who came here with her? Please help your friend. Help your friend. Help your friend. Everyone is trying to help you. Everyone is trying to help you. Mr. Quincy, can you help her? Officer, we have to continue our meeting. We have to continue our meeting. Can our pre-arrest diversion help us here? Can our pre-arrest diversion help us here? Moki Macias, can you have someone help us here? Okay. Thank you.
It
so she can't come back.
In the jail. At Garnett Street. For speaking up. I'm not going for that no more. Y'all gonna have to kill me. Kill me now. Now y'all gonna have to kill me. Kill me now. You say me. Why to kill me?
No one wants to kill you. Not anybody. We want to help you. We want to help you.
I ain't getting down though. I'm doing my First Amendment right.
We want to help you.
Y'all can keep, no. Y'all fire. Get up out this office. I will appoint somebody. I don't need y'all. I don't need Antonio. Go on back to Cleveland. You ain't getting nothing but kill my citizens. I need y'all grandparents.
No.
I'm God in Atlanta. I need because of them. Because of them. Murderer. You guys are murderer. God got me, man. He told me to come here. He told me to come here. Y'all killed my daddy, man. Now y'all ain't give me shit. Y'all ain't give me shit. Y'all ain't give me nothing. I posted it. Atlanta Service Constitution. Where is the mayor? Where is the fucking mayor? Where is the fucking mayor?
I'm publicly asking for a pre-arrest diversion because I do not want to have her detained. I want her.
I'll call for 5 minutes.
Okay, everyone, we're going to take a 5-minute recess, just 5 minutes. Council members, it actually requires a vote. I need a motion and a second for a 5-minute recess.
Make a motion to go into recess.
Is there a second?
Second by Jason Dozier.
Okay, and this can be done by unanimous consent. Madam Clerk, please sound the consent. 13 yeas, 0 nays. We are now in recess.
Nah, but when I went to Attorney General, they told me to come back here. Every time I tried, y'all set me down. Marie, get up out of here.
council members back. Can we do a PA to let the council members know that it's time to come back into the council chamber? Yeah, I told them to do a PA. We need to regain our quorum. If we can get all the council members to come back. Okay. That's the least of it. Okay, everybody. Give us just a moment for us to regain our quorum back. What's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? We have a quorum, actually. Where is Mr. Conway? Ms. Linda, you know what it's called.
Amber, Councilman Collins.
I'll entertain a motion for us to reconvene. So moved by Lewis. Second by Worthy. This can be done by unanimous consent. Madam Clerk, what is the count for unanimous consent? Yeas, 0 nays. We are reconvening our meeting. As such, our next up on our agenda is the report of the journal. Madam Clerk.
Good afternoon, Madam President and members of council. I, Corinne A. Lindo, Municipal Clerk of the City of Atlanta, do hereby certify that the minutes of the regular meeting held on Monday, February 16, 2026 are true and correct.
I'll entertain a motion to adopt the report of the journal. So moved by Bakhtiari, second by Juan. Please prepare the vote. Well, this is actually, this can be done also by unanimous consent. Madam Clerk, sound the number of unanimous consent.
13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The report of the journal is adopted. Next, we will move to communications, Madam Clerk.
First item, Madam President, is 26C 5014. This is a communication from council members Dustin Hillis, District 9, Andrea L. Boone, District 10, Wayne Martin, District 11, Antonia Lewis, District 12, and Isha Collins, both 3 at large, appointing Ms. Aisha Thomas, Esquire, to serve as a member of the Board of Zoning Adjustment. This appointment is for a term of 2 years. Staff recommendation to refer to Zoning Committee and Committee on Council.
Let it follow that course.
Next item is 26C 5015. This is a communication from Mayor Andre Dickens appointing Mr. Wesley Brown to serve as a member of the Stakeholder Oversight Committee. This appointment is for a term of 2 years to begin retroactively on December 4th, 2025 and expire December 3rd, 2027. Staff recommendation to refer to Transportation Committee and Committee on Council.
Let it follow that course.
Next item is 26C 5016. This is a communication from Clyde Higgs, President and CEO of the Atlanta Beltline, Inc., appointing Mr. Dennis Richards to serve as a member of the Housing Commission. This appointment is for a term of 2 years. Staff recommendation to refer to Community Development Human Services Committee and Committee on Council.
Let it follow that course.
Item number 5 is 26C 5017. This is a communication from Council Member Wayne Martin, District 11, appointing Ms. Charmaine Green to serve as a member of the Atlanta Commission on Women. This appointment is for a term of 2 years. Staff recommendation to refer to Committee on Council.
Let it follow that course.
Madam President, if I can take items 6, 7, 8 as a block.
Of course.
Item number 6 is 26C 5018, a communication from Council President Marcy Collier Overstreet appointing Councilmember Thomas Worthy to serve as a member of the Buckhead Community Improvement District. This appointment is for a term of 4 years. Item number 7 is 26C 5019. This is a communication from Municipal Clerk Corinne A. Linda submitting a report of administrative corrections made to previously adopted legislation between the regular council meeting dates of February 16, 2026 and March 2nd, 2026 to the Atlanta City Council in accordance with Section 2-275 of the Atlanta City Code of Ordinances, correcting 24R 4320 and 250-1657. Item number 8 is 26C 5020. This is a communication from Chief Procurement Officer Chandra Houston submitting the January 1st, 2026 through January 31st, 2026 monthly contracts report to the Atlanta City Council and Clerk of Council pursuant to Section 2-1142 of the Atlanta City Code of Ordinances. For all those items, staff recommendation to accept and file.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion to accept and file items 6, 7, and 8. Is there a second? Well, so moved by Juan, second by Isha Collins. Madam Clerk, please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote's closed. Yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays. Items 6, 7, and 8 are accepted and filed. Madam Clerk, are there any vetoed legislation?
There are none.
Okay. Moving on to unfinished business. Any unfinished business?
Yeah, there are none, Madam President. Madam President, if I may just make a few announcements about the upcoming election.
Please do.
Just a reminder that we have a primary election scheduled for Tuesday, May 19th. And so beginning today, March 2nd through Friday, May 8th, you can request a absentee ballot. Also, the last day to register to vote for the upcoming election is Monday, April 20th, and early voting will be held from April 27th to May 15th. Thank you.
Good information. Thank you. We are moving on to consent agenda section 1. We're now at consent agenda section 1. These are items that have received unanimous votes out of committee. Are there any items to be removed from consent agenda section 1? Councilmember Juan.
Thank you, Madam President. On page 6, item 3, this is under the public safety, 26-0-1148. Again, page 6, item 3, 26-0-1148. Thank you.
Okay, page 6, item 26-0-1148 off of consent agenda 1. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adopt consent agenda 1 without item 26-0-1148. So moved by Bakhtiari, second by Juan. Madam Clerk, please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. The vote's closed. 12 yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays. Consent agenda section 1 has been adopted. We're now at consent agenda section 2. These are items that were introduced for first read in committees and are being referred back to their respective committees. Are there any items to be removed from consent agenda section 2? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to refer all items on consent agenda section 2. Is there moved by Juan, second by Bakhtiari? Madam Clerk, please prepare to vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote's closed. 12 yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays. Consent agenda section 2. Items are referred back to their committees. That brings us to our standing committees. Up first, we will have the Honorable Chair, Andrea Boone. Public Safety, Legal Administration. You know you added one.
Thank you, Madam President. We have one item to report today. 26-0-1125, item 1, page 28. A resolution by council members Kelsey Bond, Jason Dozier, Antonio Lewis, Liliana Bactiera, Ishay Collins, and Matt Westmoreland, as substituted by Public Safety and Legal Administration Committee, requesting the Atlanta Police Department to examine its procedures, to express the policy priority of the City of Atlanta, to emphasize community-based diversion for low-level offenses, encouraging the use of pre-arrest diversion in lieu of custodial arrest where appropriate, and requesting regular transparency reporting on enforcement trends and for other purposes. This item came out of committee with 3 yeas and 1 abstention. Recommendation is to adopt as substituted.
The motion is to adopt as substituted. Coming out of committee, it does not need a second. Madam Clerk, please prepare the vote. Well, any discussion first? Seeing none, please prepare the vote.
One moment, Madam President.
It should. That's what I was thinking. It's 11:48, and that's.
I also don't like her, so.
Madam President, item number 1, item 26-R-3234, a resolution by council members Kelsey Bond, Jason Dozier, Antonio Lewis, Liliana Bactiera, Isay Collins, and Matt Westmoreland, as substituted by Public Safety and Legal Administration Committee, requesting the Atlanta Police Department to examine its procedures, to express the policy priority of the City of Atlanta, to emphasize community-based diversion for low-level offenses, encouraging the use of pre-arrest diversion in lieu of custodial arrest while appropriate, and requesting regular transparency reporting on enforcement trends and for other purposes. Madam President, this came out of committee with 3 yeas, 1 abstention. The recommendation is to adopt as substituted.
The motion is to adopt 26-R-3234. It came out of committee favorable, so a second is not needed. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 12 yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays. 26-R-3234 is now adopted.
Madam President, we have one more item, 26-0-1148, item 3, page 6, an ordinance by Councilmember Liliana Bactiera to amend Chapter 10, Article 2, Sections 10-92B of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances so as to provide an exemption from the distance requirements listed in Section 10-88, 1, for package stores licensed to sell malt beverages and wine for establishment located at 1675 Memorial Drive Southeast and for other purposes. This came out of committee favorable. The motion is to adopt.
The motion is to adopt 26-0-1148.
This is coming out of committee favorably, so it does not require a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? Mr. Martin, what is your vote? Councilmember Westmoreland, what is your vote? The vote is closed. 11 yeas, 1 nay.
Thank you, Madam President. This concludes my report.
11 yeas, 1 nay. Item 26-0-1148 is adopted. Thank you, Councilmember Boone. Moving on to city utilities, we have Vice Chair Liliana Bakhtiari.
The CDHS item that was no recommendation, they were going to approve it now. Just for your record, they're going to substitute that when we get to it.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam President. We only have one item today. If everyone can turn to page 30, it's item number 126-0-1132. An ordinance by City Utilities Committee to waive the procurement source selection provisions contained in Division 4 of Chapter 2, Article X of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, as well as any other conflicting code provisions, to authorize the mayor's designee to execute the Second Amendment to Special Procurement Agreement, temporary supplemental labor with First Step Staffing Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $874,000.00 on behalf of the Department of Public Works, and to execute the Third Amendment to Special Procurement Agreement listed herein for temporary supplemental labor with Center for Employment Opportunities in an amount not to exceed $1,185,600.00 on behalf of the City of Atlanta Department of Public Works and the Department of Parks and Recreation for the purpose of adding funding and a total amount not to exceed $2,059,600.00, all contracted work to be charged to and paid from account numbers listed herein and for other purposes. This item was favorable on condition. The condition was for DPR and DPW to provide the position schedules and list of seasonal staff. It was emailed to all of us earlier today, and this condition has been satisfied, unless
Okay.
any of my colleagues have questions.
Ordinance 26-0-1132 is coming out of committee favorably. So a second is not needed. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 12 yeas, 1 abstention.
Councilmember Kelsey Bond, abstentions are not allowed during full council. Your vote is a no? Okay. Councilmember Kelsey Bond would like her vote to be a no?
12 yeas, 1 nay.
Would like their vote to be a no?
12 yeas of 1 nay.
12 yeas, 1 nay. This item is adopted.
Thank you. Madam President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Vice Chair Bakhtiari. Moving on to CDHS, the Honorable Chair Westmoreland.
Thank you, Madam President. We have one item, it's 26-0-1125. It involves a substitute which changes the caption, so I'll make a motion to bring forward the substitute.
Moved by Councilmember Westmoreland, second by Juan. Please open the vote. Please open the vote to bring the motion forward.
The vote is open.
Thanks.
Will everyone please vote? Will everyone please vote? The vote's closed. Councilmember Martin, what is your vote? 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. This item is before us.
So amended ordinance by Community Development and Human Services Committee as substituted by the Atlanta City Council to waive the competitive source selection provisions contained in the section listed herein of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, as well as any other conflicting code provisions, to authorize the mayor or his designee and enter into the Second Amendment to the agreement listed herein on behalf of the Atlanta Labor and Employment Services to extend the term on a month-to-month basis for a period not to extend 3 months, effective April 1st to June 30th, 2026, an amount not to exceed $200,000. All contracted work charged to and paid from the fund, department, organization, and account numbers listed herein and for other purposes. I will make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Westmoreland, second by Juan. Any discussion? Antonio Lewis.
And I voted no in committee on this based on a quick Google search that shows some issues. But after receiving letters from the amazing Miss Austin Gibbons, Miss Teresa Austin Gibbons, I actually am in support of this. So I want to make sure I say that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember. Anyone else? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? Councilmember Boone, what is your vote? The vote's closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. Item 26-0-1125 is adopted.
That concludes our report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Westmoreland. Moving on to Transportation Committee, the Honorable Alex Juan.
Madam President, we have no report. Thank you.
No report. Okay, that brings us to Finance Exec, the Honorable Chair Winston.
Thank you, Madam President. We have one item, a resolution 26-R3249, a resolution by the Finance Executive Committee authorizing the mayor or his designee to issue task order number 11 for a contract number listed citywide architectural planning, design, engineering, and construction phase services with Fitzgerald Collaborative Group, LLC, for 2 Peachtree and 14 Marietta Street negotiation expansion proposal on behalf of the Department of Enterprise Asset Management in an amount not to exceed $520,000.00. All work to be paid to and from the accounts listed herein and for other purposes. This did come out of committee favorable with 4 yeas and 2 abstentions. However, due to the need to have this paper go through the proper committees at Invest Atlanta, I'll make a motion to refer back to committee.
Motion to refer back to committee by Winston, second by Juan. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 12 yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays. Item 26-R3249 is referred back to committee.
Thank you. That does conclude my report.
Thank you, Chair Winston. Moving on to Committee on Council, that will be Chair Amos.
Yes, ma'am, Madam President. We actually have 5 items to come before the council today. First with communications, 26-C-501.
Madam President, I'm sorry. The last vote, I didn't realize. Ms. Norwood, what is your vote?
To refer back to committee. What was your vote?
13 yeas, 0 nays. Thank you.
13 yeas, 0 nays. That item is referred back to committee. Now we're ready for you, Chair Amos.
Thank you. Communications 26-C-5011, a communication for Mayor Andre Dickens, appointing Mr. Robert Hill to serve as a member of the West End Community Improvement District. This appointment is for a term of 4 years. It came out favorable from community CDHS and favorable from Committee on Council as well. So I'll make a motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt by Amos, second by Bakhtiari. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. This item is adopted.
26-0-1176, ordinance by Committee on Council to amend the Charter of the City of Atlanta adopted under and by virtue of the authority of the Municipal Home Rule Act of 1965 as amended to amend Part 1, Subpart A, Article 7, Chapter 3, Section 2-301C1, organizational meeting, oath, office, mandatory training in order to clarify that the mandatory training requirements shall only apply to newly elected officials and for other purposes. Madam President, this is a first read, also a charter amendment, so I refer it back to committee.
Yep. This is a first read. This motion will be referred back to COC. Is there a second? Second by Bakhtiari. Please open the vote, Madam Clerk.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote's closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. This item is referred back to committee.
26-0-1153, ordinance by Councilmember Liliana Bakhtiari, Byron D. Amos, Dustin Hillis, Jason Dozier, Eshae Collins, Thomas Worthy, Andrea L. Boone, and Kelsey Bond, as substituted by committee on council to amend the chapter of the City of Atlanta Charter listed, adopted under and by virtue of the authority of the Municipal Home Rule Act of 1965. Georgia section listed 36-5-1 by amending the Atlanta City Charter Part 1, Chapter and Related Laws, Subpart A, Chapter Article 3, Executive, Chapter 4, Boards, Authorities, Commissions, and other similar bodies, Section 3-401, as it relates to appointing authorities to provide a process by which a base committee for purview may provide a nomination for any provide a process by which a base committee or purview may provide a nomination for any vacancy greater than 60 days, where a member of the Atlanta City Council is the appointing authority and for other purposes. This also a charter amendment. I make a motion to approve and refer back to committee.
Motion by Amos, second by Bakhtiari to refer back to committee is.
Motion to adopt, finish that, and then do the motion.
I withdraw my motion, make a motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt by Amos, second by Bakhtiari. Madam Clerk, please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? Councilmember Collins, what is your vote? 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance 26-0-1153 is referred back to committee.
Madam President, I think that was only to approve. I make a motion now to refer it back to committee, right?
Correct. Now, motion has been made by Amos, second by Lewis to now refer it back to committee. Madam Clerk, please prepare to vote.
Oh, sorry. The vote is open. One moment.
It's the second reading of the charter. It's the first adoption.
Oh, got it. Okay. Second. The vote is open.
Understanding that, as soon as we finish our vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? Councilmember Martin, what is your vote?
Councilmember Martin.
Councilmember Amos, what is your vote?
Martin is a yes.
13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. Understanding that because it's a charter amendment, it requires 3 reads, so it has to go back to committee one more time.
Okay, so we're back to regular resolutions. 26-R-3231, a resolution by Councilmember Byron D. Amos authorizing the mayor on behalf of the city of Atlanta to accept the donation of a conference room rental fee from Zoo Atlanta, valued at $1,000.00 for use by the Atlanta City Council for its annual council retreat and for other purposes. Make a motion to approve.
Move approval by Amos,
Yes.
second by Winston. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? Councilmember Boone, what is your vote?
Councilmember Boone, how do you vote?
Councilmember Bond, what is your vote? The vote's closed. 12 yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays. Resolution 26-R-3231 is adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 26-R-3297, a resolution by Committee on Council requesting that the city attorney engage outside counsel to conduct an independent investigation into the city of Atlanta's engagement, contract payments, and administrative actions relating to Forrest Webb III and for other purposes. Came out of committee favorable. Make a motion to approve.
Move approval by Amos. Because it comes out of committee, it does not require a second. Any discussion? Councilmember Juan.
Thank you, Madam President. And colleagues, I don't sit on committee on council, so this is the first time I'm getting a chance to speak to this as it was walked in today's committee. And I also want to share that I, too, have grave concerns and issues with regard to what we have learned in the last couple of weeks regarding this contract. However, this paper right now, I'm a little confused as to what we're trying to accomplish. And I think that's always a helpful exercise. If we're going to launch call for some sort of investigation for us to understand what we're getting at and what purposes we're trying to accomplish. Because in my opinion, there are kind of 4 buckets of issues regarding this. And I think we need to be thoughtful if we're going to commit more city resources to this, that especially engaging outside counsel, that we are scoping this correctly in a way that gets us to what we need. So I'm gonna take a little bit of time here. I think the first issue is how the contract came to be in the first place. We passed 23-R-3845 authorizing the city attorney to go do this. Now, how that contract actually came to be developed, the scope of work and the execution, I think that is worth looking at, but I don't know that any of us have actually looked at the contract. I haven't. I'd like to see it because I think that's going to answer a lot of the questions that we have regarding what the arrangement was, if it was set up as a retainer, start, end dates, all that. So I think there's a set of questions around that. I don't know that we need outside counsel to help us figure that out because there should be a fairly, it's a document, and there should just be some records regarding that. I think there is another bucket of questions around compliance. And quite frankly, that stems from how the contract was written. And if we haven't looked at it, we don't know if we were in compliance or not. There's issues around process, there's issues around reporting, invoicing, and all that. So that's a second bucket. Again, I'm not sure we need outside counsel to do an investigation around that. The third set, I'm hearing whispers about allegations around fraud, malfeasance, additional work that wasn't done. Now that I do agree needs some external entity to come help us with. However, I remind us that we also have our audit and our inspector general that are internal, third-party, independent resources that, fraud and malfeasance and waste and abuse fall under their purview. So why would we not start there and have them look at it first. And if we start finding things, then it leads to a further and more complex investigation. Then we take that step next. And then finally, there in the legislation, there's stuff around kind of guardrails going forward. Again, I don't know that we need outside counsel to do that. I think absolutely we should codify what the current city attorney has offered. I do question also, the responsibility that we have as with oversight, if there are things to tighten that up as well. We get regular reports on outside counsel contracts. This wouldn't have fallen under outside counsel, so it would not have been included in that, but perhaps we need to strengthen that requirement. But again, I think that's a conversation and a policy and an exercise thing that we can do ourselves. So with that, there's a lot of unreadiness for me to support this as it is going forward. I do think we should hit the pause button and again, triage. Well, first of all, I think we need to read the contract. And then from there, triage what it is we think we can have inside resources do that wouldn't be or pose any sort of conflict of interest or self-serving finding on that. I also do think that we should start talking to the audit office and the inspector general's office around some of the whispers I've been hearing, because again, that is their function. And then finally, if we want to take an action immediately, the first thing we should do is again, we absolutely should codify kind of the guardrails that have been proposed and maybe add some more in terms of some of the contract reporting. So again, I have just as much consternation around this, but I want us to be thoughtful and intentional stepping into this next realm and committing valuable city resources, again, with hiring outside counsel without a more focused goal, because they will run up a bill just looking at these internal things that I'm not sure is the best use of our resources at this point. So with that, again, I don't know where the rest of my colleagues stand on this, but there's definitely unreadiness on my part. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilmember Juan. Next up is Councilmember T.J. Collins. It's been on all day. Now I need it and it's off.
Yeah.
T.J. Collins.
Thank you, Madam President. To your, sitting on the committee and being a part of reading this today, Councilman Juan, I think there's a couple of things. So, Madam City Attorney, when she shared this with us on February the 13th, on the 12th, she did in the email attach a copy of the contract. And so there are questions, when I reviewed it, there are questions and concerns in terms of just some of the basic tenets of contracts, whether it's a service agreement or if it's time and materials, whatever it is that this did not have. And so I think this resolution, and so number one, that gave me concern. I think I expressed that when this was revealed to us, but then also over the recent couple of weeks of developments and the communications that have come out from the administration in terms of the autonomy and independence, but decision-making authority of this council in relationship to the clerk and the city attorney, I do think it gives some kind of plausible space where, and this is authorizing the city attorney to engage outside counsel, whether that is what that looks like. I think it's the onus on us to ask the questions. So for me, I just think it is, for us, it locks in the independency to determine, to see what this looks like, to ask the questions of details that we want to get the level of details that we need to have. And those could be immediate requests to our city attorney, but then also if there is the need to have an independent review of this, I do want her and her team to be empowered to do so. So I think this resolution affords this. If you look at it at the bottom, there's a list of things that are, that can be easily given to us, whether it, the invoices, what that looks like, what the scope of work entails, how this was actually mirroring that with the work that was actually done. And what I do think it provides for the council is the space and the cover to say that we have done our due diligence as an independent body to look into the depth of this with the information that has been provided to us, because we're here because we did not do those things, and it was revealed to us the nature of this contract, the amount, the shock value that it has had. That's what, I would just share with you. That's why I supported this today in Committee on Council. So as always, I as an attorney, I do think that we have the onus of ensuring that we're making decisions that are financially prudent and financially within bounds of the respect of the work that we're asking for outside counsel and even any outside agency to do for us. But I do think this requires a level of independency and autonomy. Just with the recent developments as well, it removes people with conversations, back and forth memos, things to that nature out, and just get us the information that we need as a collective body to make decisions, to look and decide how we want to move forward, since this is completely, since the onus is on us to address this as a council. And with that, Madam Chair, I defer.
Thank you, Councilmember Collins. Councilmember Wayne Martin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam President, I would dare not belabor the time. I echo much of my colleague Collins' sentiments, but I also want to add, as a new council member, just getting an understanding of the scope and the nature of the work and how we got here is important to me. And so, though I'm not a member of COC, I do support the paper, and I want to make sure I went on record saying that I've gotten a lot of questions. Not a lot of aspersions are being cast. No one is saying that anyone did any malfeasance here. But what I have heard is we need a greater understanding of how we got here and how we avoid going back here in the future. So that's why I'm supportive of the paper.
Thank you, Councilmember Martin. Councilmember Kelsey Bond.
Yeah, thank you. Definitely in support of this initiative. I'm very glad that the City Council is taking steps to be proactive. I know that I, as a new council member, have received dozens of emails, dozens of questions about how this came about, and I think it's our responsibility to know how to answer those questions. So very glad. I do want to caution, the original resolution that allowed the past city attorney to hire Forrest Webb was a open-ended resolution that didn't really contain guardrails around timeline or, a cap on spending. So I would caution us against, passing another open-ended resolution, but I am very in support of this initiative and happy that we're taking steps to move forward on this.
Thank you, Councilmember Bond. Councilmember Mary Norwood.
Yes, I thought what Councilmember Juan said was very perceptive and accurate, which is, I haven't seen the contract, and I do think that we ought to see that, have this go back to committee and bring it back when we have done final edits to it and have all reviewed the contract, and we know exactly what we're looking at and what we want outside counsel to do for us. So I will be supporting a motion to refer it back.
Councilmember Norwood, is that all? Just
I
for clarity.
make the substitute motion to refer.
It's in order, it needs a second.
Okay.
It needs a second.
Okay, motion by Norwood, second by Councilmember Juan. Any discussion? Councilmember Westmoreland?
I believe it's relevant to this motion. Whoever authored this paper, can they explain how requesting the city attorney to engage outside counsel rather than using the audit office or the inspector general?
So this came forward as a committee paper, and all honesty, this paper originally started in the last council meeting by our colleague, Councilmember Bond, M. Bond. It was not able to be produced by then, so committee decided to bring it forward in today's meeting.
And during today's committee meeting, did anyone have a discussion about using the auditor or the inspector general?
No, no one had a public meeting about that.
just for clarity's sake, the city attorney did put the contract in our email last week. Yeah, FYI.
Thank you.
So, Alex Wan, would you like to speak again?
Yeah, so this is to the motion to refer, which I support because I do think we need more time. I will, to echo Councilmember Kelsey Vaughn's comment, in 23 R 3845, we authorize the city attorney to engage. We're about to do the exact same thing with this paper. We're asking the city attorney to engage, and I don't feel, have really set the parameters by which we want the focus to be. So we are suddenly, once again, setting ourselves up for, and no offense, Madam City Attorney, but I want more control over that. I want us to dive into specifically what we want to know. And I feel like this list that is here there's too much noise. There's stuff that really should be carved out for other entities to do, stuff that we can figure out on our own, and then there's specific things that we would want outside council to investigate. The other piece of this is that it's got an April 20th deadline of outside council report. That's 5 or 6 weeks from now, and I think that is a lot of work. I just think that's an aggressive and ambitious timetable. We owe it to ourselves, and I don't disagree with anything that my colleagues have said regarding, what we're trying to accomplish and why we feel the need to do this. I just think we're rushing into something, and I don't want us to make the same kind of broad stroke mistake that we made in 23. If all we're doing is just taking a couple weeks to sharpen our pencils a little bit and then redirect, engage the auditor's office and the inspector general's office as well, so that when we get the final product and result, we actually are answering the questions that we're looking to answer. So I just would like, I think, 2 more weeks. When this just popped up today in committee, I don't think that's a lot to ask. Again, we all share the frustration, but if we've learned anything from our previous legislation is that rushing into something like this as a reaction isn't always the smartest thing to do, especially when we're going to commit additional resources to this.
Thank you, Councilmember Wan. Councilmember Collins?
Yeah, so a few questions for me in terms of, like I always share, you guys, coming from a space, there's no dumb questions. And for it to get to an auditor or a inspector general, there has to be a firm inquiry made, correct? Like it has to be a firm inquiry or complaint or something?
Not necessarily.
I'm sorry. Not the inspector general. So then my question, the reason why even being here when we talked about the previous resolution, none of that conversation about the auditor or the inspector general rose to the top. There was the immediate need to put a resolution before us. What we know that triggered this communication back and forth of who was actually responsible for the oversight and ensuring that this contract, which is one of thousands of contracts in this city, would be responsible for. In that resolution as well, it did not have the details from what we see at the bottom and on the back, where it is more details in terms of invoices received, payments made, scope of work, controls and insights, some of the same questions that we asked at the last council meeting in terms of understanding as well. So in response to it, I do feel that this resolution is asking for a little bit more depth and more details into like the chronological record of work performed, copies, all of those things. And I do think that there's a responsibility on our end, knowing how contentious and controversial, even before I was on council, what triggered this engagement was. I do think there is the opportunity there. However, if there is appetite for us to think of, like you said, Councilman Wan, I don't know what committee, would it be referred back to committee on council for us to flesh it out? And Mr. Chair of COC, if that is the request, then I would even want to lean into making sure that those responsible departments or individuals actually have those presentations before us, those questions, all of, information, all those things that are available. So my piece is two ways. I am for this paper, but also if there is an appetite to want more time to decide what it looks like for us to get the information, and it is referred back to COC, then I will be requesting a little bit more level of engagement and responsiveness from individuals and from departments that were key in these decisions. And with that, Madam Chair, I defer.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Collins. Antonio Lewis, Councilmember Lewis.
What Councilmember Wan said is exactly what I've been saying for the past 2 weeks. Councilmember Collins, her last statement, exactly where I am as well. But I also want to say that I hate that the gentleman's name came out the way that it came out, because I've been here to see so many contracts and the names don't come out. But if Mr. Webb was performing his contract to the duties, he did nothing wrong. And the city we have to look into something for initiating the contract in the beginning. And I don't think we need to spend more money with outside counsel to get that done unless we have to on the back end. And so standing with Councilmember Collins as she grew on that, I'm either way on this, like Councilmember Collins said, but I would like to not spend the money up front if we have two different organizations in-house that can get into it.
Thank you, Councilmember Lewis. Councilmember Dozier.
Thank you, Madam President. As someone who voted to move this out of committee today, I do agree, and I'm compelled by the argument that Councilmember Wan made about giving us a little bit more time, $500,000 to investigate something that I think we have the ability to do in-house as a city government is, I think, a very compelling argument, and I wanted to go ahead and move to call the question.
Ooh. We have called a question by Councilmember Dozier. Is there a second? Second by Norwood. Please prepare the vote. Or any no discussion. No discussion on call to question, y'all. Call to question means no more questions. And requires a 2/3 vote. Madam Clerk, please prepare the vote.
Madam President, who's the second?
Called by Dozier, second by Norwood.
One moment. The vote is open. Will everyone please vote?
Just to be clear, now you're voting on whether or not you want to continue to discuss or not.
8 yeas, 5 nays.
8 yeas, 5 nays. Call to question fails. We will continue discussion. Who's next? Councilmember Martin.
Yes, I wanted, thank you, Madam President. I wanted to get some clarity from Councilmember Wan on, you spoke of the auditor as well as the OIG having some jurisdiction here. Are we certain that it would go to both groups, or would it just go to one of them, or what is the process?
So I was actually, may I, Madam President, respond?
Councilmember Wan, of course.
All right, so that's what I was just talking to Council Members Collin and Westmoreland about, is we could, at the end of this meeting, do an immediate consideration, a resolution asking the audit department to look into this. And they do compliance. It's all about checking, they do compliance audits all over the city in terms of invoices, payments, authorization, all that stuff, we could just ask them to start. The OIG, though, someone would have to submit, actually the OIG is listening, they do actually have authority to begin their own investigations, or we could, in the hotline, ask if there was something specific in terms of malfeasance and fraud, submit that in and ask them to investigate. So yes, I mean, we already can do that now and start that today while we figure out this. Again, what's hanging me up is the outside counsel piece, really focusing on what it is we need them to look at. Does that answer your question, Councilman?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You have anything else, Councilmember?
I do not. Thank you.
OIG is triggered by waste, fraud, corruption, or abuse.
Yes.
Okay, anyone else in queue for discussion?
Councilmember Bakhtiari.
Thank you. And I do appreciate that we are discussing this. I appreciate we're discussing this publicly. My question is, I understand the discussion of sending it back for the allowance of more time and everything else, but I want to know the exact timeline because we have a pattern of taking issues such as egregious issues that pop up and then saying we're going to handle them and allowing it to die in committee. And so my issue with attempting to refer this back is I believe it's going to delay this. I think that there are, I understand the fear of it making things look bad, et cetera, but honestly, that's a fear of ours and I have to wonder what we're doing here. If our concern is looking bad over doing our jobs, a mistake was made. I think a mistake was made on both sides of the hall. And I do think that we lead by showing that we have an intention of getting to the bottom of this. I do ask my colleagues, I understand the need in-house because budgeting is a real concern. I suppose I ask, and maybe this is something we discuss offline, if we do this in-house, I suppose, do we hold the trust of the public in doing it in-house? Because I am concerned about the headlines of how it's been framed to the public, that if it were in-house, that we would have concerns about it being done transparently. And so while I do understand that there's a time to rebuild trust with departments, and I have faith that they can do so, I do want to ask, because I know budget is a concern. I get that. But the reality of it being as transparent as possible outside of this building, and I kick that question back to all of us, how that looks. But I don't believe we should kick it back to committee today. I understand the desire to vet this more properly, but again, my concern is timeline. My concern is that we say it's going to be vetted and then it simply dies in committee. So we have a tendency to kick cans like that down the line. So I will say that if I will be voting against that, if it does pass, I will tell you right now that this will be brought up again in a few weeks if that timeline is not met.
Well, thank you, Councilmember Bakhtiari. We are in the middle of a vote. This is deliberation for referral. Is that correct? I think that it was motion by Norwood, second by Juan. Anyone else have anything to say before we call this vote? No? Okay, seeing none. We have a motion on the floor for referral. Madam Clerk, please prepare the vote.
The vote is open.
For referral.
Will everyone please vote?
And this actually does not require, a majority. Okay, so, Madam Clerk.
9 yeas, 4 nays.
9 yeas, 4 nays. This item is being referred back to committee. Correct?
Madam President, ends my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Amos. With that, we are moving on to, goodness, I think we're at the end of our, okay, wait just a second. We are at zoning. Zoning, Chair Norwood. Vice Chair Collins, we are at zoning. You have no report.
There is no report.
Thank you for that. And that concludes our standing committees. So
back to jockeying for first place.
So that brings us to, thank you, Councilmember Norwood. There is no zoning report. Where is my? Okay, that brings us to our papers, our personal papers. Is that correct? Yeah, but. Yes, here we go. Okay, so we're lined up for personal papers. First, we do have an immediate paper by Councilmember Boone. Yes. Which will now be done by Councilmember Wayne Martin.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I have a resolution for immediate consideration, ILMS number 39895, a resolution by Councilmember Wayne Martin recognizing and honoring the life, leadership, and legacy of the Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson Sr. and for other purposes. And whereas the Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson Sr. has been a towering figure in American public life for more than 6 decades, dedicating his life to the pursuit of civil rights, economic justice, and human dignity for all people. And whereas born in Greenville, South Carolina, Reverend Jackson emerged as a key national leader during the civil rights movement, working closely with the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference to advance voting rights, desegregation, and equal opportunity. And whereas Reverend Jackson founded Operation Push, People United to Save Humanity, and later the Rainbow Push Coalition organization that has championed economic empowerment, educational access, and social justice for marginalized communities across the United States. And whereas throughout his life, Reverend Jackson has been a steadfast advocate for peace, diplomacy, and humanitarian outreach, undertaking international missions to secure the release of hostages, promote conflict resolution, and uplifting oppressed peoples around the world. And whereas his historic presidential campaign in 1984 and 1988 expanded the nation's political imagination, energized millions of new voters, and helped lay the groundwork for broader representation in American political life. And whereas Reverend Jackson's voice, vision, and moral clarity have inspired generations of activists, leaders, and everyday citizens to continue the work of building a more just, equitable, and inclusive society. And whereas the city of Atlanta, long a center of the civil rights movement and home to many of Reverend Jackson's closest colleagues and collaborators, recognizes his profound contributions to the advancement of human rights and social progress. And whereas the city of Atlanta wishes to honor Reverend Jackson's extraordinary legacy and express its deep appreciation to his family for sharing his life of service with the world. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the City of Atlanta that the life, leadership, and legacy of the Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson Sr. are hereby recognized, honored, and celebrated for their immeasurable impact on the City of Atlanta, the nation, and the global community.
You move approval?
I do move approval.
Move approval by Wayne Martin, second by Byron Amos. Please prepare the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote's closed. 10 yeas, 0 nays.
10 yeas, 0 nays. The Jesse Jackson paper is adopted.
Thank you.
Okay, council member, do you want to?
You want to be added? Nope. Okay. In that case,
All right.
you want to do your personal papers?
Yes.
All right. You want to move?
Yes,
post
please.
haste?
I would like to make a motion to move it post haste to the mayor's office.
Motion to move post haste by Martin and second by Amos. This could be done by unanimous consent. Please sound that count, Madam Clerk.
12 yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays. This item is being sent post haste to the mayor.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, colleagues. My final personal paper for the day is a resolution, ILMS number 39887. It is a resolution by Councilmember Wayne Martin, Ishay Collins, and Liliana Bakhtiari, a resolution to authorize the City of Atlanta, pursuant to Section 6-306 of the Charter of the City of Atlanta, to make a donation to the Community Foundation for Greater Atlanta, Inc., in an amount not to exceed $750,000.00 for the Community Foundation of Greater Atlanta's support of community-based programs supporting eligible projects and entities within the City of Atlanta, identified by the Mayor's Office of Cultural Affairs, to authorize the Community Foundation of Greater Atlanta to act as fiscal agent for the City of Atlanta to receive funds into a designated non-permanent account from public and private donors to support community-based capital programs which support eligible OCA identified projects and entities within Atlanta, to authorize the mayor of his designee to execute a fiscal agent and donation agreement with CFGA, and to authorize the chief financial officer or his designee to make all payments from the accounts listed herein and for other purposes.
What a caption, right?
What a caption.
39887, please refer to FEC.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilmember Martin. Councilmember Amos.
Yes, Madam President. AMS ID 39875, an ordinance by Councilmember Byron D. Amos authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute special procurement agreement listed to Tolomi Software and Support Services with Opportunity Space, Inc. on behalf of the executive officers pursuant to Section 2-1191.1 of the Atlanta City Code, retroactively effective from July 1st, 2025, for a 4-month term of 1 year with 5 one-year renewal options in an amount not to exceed $114,000 to ratify services rendered in connection with their agreement beginning July 1st, 2025. All contract work to be charged to and paid from the account determined by the chief financial officer and for other purposes.
ALMS ID 39875 to be referred to finance exec.
AMS ID 39888. Ordinance by Councilmember Byron D. Amos authorizing the mayor on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute all documents necessary for the acquisition of certain property interests necessary to facilitate the affordable housing development at 350 Chapel Road, authorizing negotiations with property owners for the acquisition of such property interests, authorizing title searches, appraisals, surveys, and other items necessary for the acquisition of such property interests, authorizing the mayor and the city attorney in the event negotiations are unsuccessful to institute condemnation proceedings pursuant to the declaration of taking method, OCGA code listed, waiving certain provisions in Article 10 Real Estate and Procurement Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, all contracted work and payment for property interest to be paid by Atlanta Beltline, Inc., authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute all other documents necessary to consummate the transactions authorized hereby and for other purposes.
ALMS ID 39888 to be referred to CDHS.
Colleagues, this paper was just given to me. I haven't had a chance to walk it around, but I'm pretty sure you'll add your names in committee. AMS 39902, a resolution by Councilmember Byron D. Amos directing the council chief of staff to modify the current vacancy review board submission process to eliminate the requirement that city council personnel requests be submitted to the vacancy review board and for other purposes.
ALMS 39902 to be referred to, what was the caption again? I'm sorry.
Should be committee on council, probably.
Chief of staff to committee on council. I don't have that on here.
They just gave it to me.
Okay.
Last but not least, AMS 3986, ordinance by Councilmember Byron D. Amos, Councilmember Collins, Westmoreland, Lewis, Martin, Boone, Norwood, Worthy, Bartiari, Dozier, K-Bond, Martin, and probably Juan, didn't get a chance to talk to him, authorizing the mayor or his designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute a ground lease authorized agreement with the Andrew J. Young Foundation, Inc., a Georgia nonprofit corporation for property located in the 14th District, Fulton County, Georgia, tax parcel listed in the historic Vine City, Atlanta, Georgia, for the lease of 5 years with an option to request approval from the mayor to extend the lease terms for 19 consecutive 5-year periods, and authorizing for the mayor to grant up to 19 extensions for a yearly rental rate of $1 per year, waiving the lease of the city-owned real property, requiring contained in Section 2-1547, Article 10 of the Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinance, as well as other conflicting codes provisions and for other purposes.
ALMS ID 39865 to be referred to CDHS.
Thank you, Madam President.
That one.
Councilmember Lewis.
Thank you, Madam President. Elms 39901, an ordinance by Councilmember Antonio Lewis to amend Chapter 10, Article 2, Section 1088-88.1 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances to provide an exemption from the distance requirement for the Kroger located at 2685 Metropolitan Parkway, Southwest, and for other purposes.
Elms ID 39901 to be referred to PSLA.
And this is a huge piece of legislation. This the next piece of legislation for the entire District 12. Elms 39900, a resolution by Councilmember Antonio Lewis to establish a partnership between the City of Atlanta District 12 Council Office, Atlanta Public Schools, and key housing and development partners to ensure that data informing school closures and enrollment decisions are accurate, current, and aligned with the projected housing development within District 12 through the year 2030, and for the purposes whereas strong and sustainable communities require alignment between housing development, population growth, and public school planning. And whereas District 12 has experienced shifts in the housing patterns, including new development, redevelopment, and population changes that directly impact these school closures. Thank you, President.
I think that's phenomenal. Elms ID 39900 to be referred to CDHS. Thank you, Councilmember Lewis. Councilmember Worthy.
Thank you, Madam President. Elms ID 39757, an ordinance by Councilmember Thomas Worthy amending the fiscal year 2026 Airport Revenue Fund 5501 and Airport Renewal and Extension Fund 5502 budgets by transferring to and from appropriations the amount of $70,596,800 to provide funding for various projects at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport and for other purposes.
Elms ID 39757 to be referred to Transportation.
Elms ID 39898, an ordinance by Councilmember Thomas Worthy, Councilmember Mary Norwood, Councilmember Matt Westmoreland, and Councilmember Ishay Collins authorizing the mayor or his designee to accept grant funds from the Georgia Department of Transportation to provide for preliminary engineering for Lennox Road Corridor Trail and safety improvements from Phipps Boulevard to Piedmont Road to amend the fiscal year 2026 intergovernmental grant fund budget by adding to anticipations and appropriations the amount of $1,120,000 to authorize the mayor or his designee to enter into agreements with the Georgia Department of Transportation for implementation of grant acceptance and participation and for other purposes.
Elms ID 39898 to be referred to Transportation.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilmember Worthy. Councilmember Bakhtiari.
Thank you. First paper, Elms ID number 39899, a resolution by Councilmembers Leona Bakhtiari, Matt Westmoreland, and Ishay Collins to designate South Ponce de Leon Avenue Northeast between Oakdale Road and Fairview Road as Honorary Paul Bianchi Way to authorize the City of Atlanta Department of Transportation to install honorary street names where South Ponce de Leon Avenue Northeast street signage is installed and for other purposes.
Elms ID 39899 to be referred to Transportation.
Thank you. Elms ID 39892, an ordinance by Councilmembers Bakhtiari, Martin, K. Bond, Worthy, Dozier, Winston, Norwood, Amos, Swan, and Lewis to amend the charter of the City of Atlanta, Georgia, 1996 Georgia laws, adopted under by virtue of the authority of the Municipal Home Rule Act of 1965, OCGA Section 36-35-1, as amended by amending Atlanta City Charter, Part 1, Subpart A, Article 2, Chapter 4, Section 3-402, to require the inclusion of Atlanta City Council member primary sponsor of record on proposed legislation, exempting certain types of proposed legislation from sponsorship requirements and for other purposes.
Elms ID 39892 to be referred to Committee on Council.
Thank you. That's
it. Thank you, Councilmember Bakhtiari. Here's our new call to question, Councilmember. I thought Shook left the building.
Well, it failed, so I don't know how.
Maybe next time. Councilmember Dozier. Dozier. Sorry.
Thank you, Madam President. My only item is Elms ID number 39896, a resolution by Councilmember Jason Dozier, authorizing the City of Atlanta to donate a total amount not to exceed $325,000.00 to 24/7 Gateway LLC, also known as Gateway Center, pursuant to Section 6-306 of the City of Atlanta's Charter, to support coordinated shelter and supportive services for individuals experiencing chronic homelessness in the city of Atlanta, authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a donation agreement which shall detail the actions of 24/7 Gateway LLC to support coordinated shelter and supportive services for individuals experiencing chronic homelessness in the city of Atlanta, to authorize the chief financial officer or his designee to make the donation authorized hereby from the accounts listed herein and for other purposes.
Elms ID 39896 to be referred to FEC.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Winston, Chair Winston.
Thank you, Madam President. And everyone, bear with me, this is a novel. Elms ID 39873, an ordinance by Councilmember Jason Winston, a Series 2026 bond ordinance to ratify, reaffirm, supplement, and amend that certain master bond ordinance adopted on March 31st, 1999, as previously supplemented and amended to provide for the issuance by the City of Atlanta of its water and wastewater subordinate lien revenue refunding bond Series 26 in one or more series of sub-series on a tax-exempt or taxable basis in the aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $1,250,000. Oh, that number is not 1 million, that's a trillion. 250 billion to refund or tender for purchase of all or a portion of the city's outstanding water and wastewater revenue refunding bonds Series 2015 water and wastewater revenue refunding bonds Series 2017A water and wastewater revenue and revenue refunding bonds Series 2018B water and wastewater revenue refunding bonds Series 2018C water and wastewater revenue refunding bonds Series 2019 and water and wastewater revenue refunding bonds Series 2020, collectively the refunded bonds to refund all or a portion of the amounts previously drawn and outstanding under the 2024 commercial paper program, the refunded notes to authorize the preparation and distribution of an invitation or offer to tender bonds and related disclosure documents, and the execution and delivery of a dealer management agreement and tender agent agreement in connection with a tender for purchase of the refunded bonds to provide for the establishment of the 2026 water and wastewater short-term note program in connection with the issuance from the time to time by the City of Atlanta of its water and wastewater revenue short-term notes. The short-term notes in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed a number to be provided later, outstanding at any time for the purpose of the financing on an interim basis, the cost of making additions, extensions, and improvements to its combined drinking water, sanitary sewer, and wastewater system to authorize and approve the form of a revolving credit agreement to be entered into and certain other agreements in connection with the 2026 water and wastewater short-term note program to authorize City of Atlanta water and wastewater revenue bonds, the takeout bonds, to be issued as takeout bonds if and to the extent required to pay the principal of and accrued interest on the Series 2026 short-term notes at maturity, to authorize the preparation and use of preliminary official statement and official statement in connection with the offering for sale of the Series 2026 bonds, to supersede and waive all resolutions and ordinances or part of resolutions and ordinances that conflict with the provisions of this ordinance and for other related purposes. I cannot wait to unpack that in the FEC committee.
That sounds like it's going to be fun in your committee.
Yes.
Elms ID 39873 to be referred to Finance Exec.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Winston. Chair Wan.
Madam President, all right, Elms ID 39851, resolution by Councilmember Alex Wan authorizing a donation in an amount not to exceed $5,000.00 to Piedmont Park Conservancy to sponsor the landmark luncheon pursuant to Section 6306 of the City of Atlanta's Charter and for other purposes.
39851 to be referred to FEC.
All right, Elms ID 39756, an ordinance by Councilmember Alex Wan amending the fiscal year 2026 Aviation Encumbrance Program Fund budget by adding to anticipations and appropriations in the amount of $181,900,050 to reestablish the Aviation Encumbrance Program capacity to fund future projects at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport and for other purposes.
Elms ID 39756 to be referred to Transportation.
All right, Elms ID 39878, an ordinance by Councilmember Alex Wan to waive the procurement source collection provisions contained in Division 4 of Chapter 2, Article 10 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, as well as any other conflicting code provisions, to authorize the mayor or his designee to execute the First Amendment to Agreement Number listed Program Management Services Team with Stantec SG joint venture on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management to add funding to the agreement in an amount not to exceed $21 million and 0 cents to ratify certain services performed in connection with the agreement during the period following exhaustion of the original funding authorization established pursuant to Resolution 23R3169 and prior to execution of the First Amendment authorized herein, all contracted work to be charged to and paid from accounts listed herein and for other purposes. 39878.
Okay, 39878 to be referred to city utilities.
All right, Elms ID 39880, an ordinance by Councilmember Alex Wan authorizing the mayor or the mayor's designee to execute special procurement agreements, numbers listed, small meter installations with KM Davis Contracting Company and Titan Unlimited LLC for small meter installation services on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management pursuant to Section 21191.1 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances for a term of 1 year, retroactively effective January 15, 2026 through January 14, 2027, in an amount not to exceed $4 million and 0 cents to ratify services performed prior to the execution of the agreements and for other purposes.
Elms ID 39880 to be referred to FEC.
All right, my last one is Elms ID 39897. It's an ordinance by Councilmember Alex Wan to waive the procurement source selection provisions contained in Division 4 of Chapter 2, Article 10 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, as well as any other conflicting code provisions, to authorize the mayor or his designee to execute the Third Amendment to sole source agreement number listed, jail management system with BI2 Technologies LLC, on behalf of the Department of Atlanta Information Management and Department of Corrections to extend the term of the agreement on a month-to-month basis for a period not to exceed 12 months, effective May 2nd, 2026 through May 1, 2027, and to add funding in an amount not to exceed $360,000 and 0 cents. All contracted work to be charged to and paid from account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
Elms ID 39897 to be referred to PSLA.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Chair Wan. Chair Boone.
Thank you, Madam President. Elms ID number 39879, a resolution by Councilmember Andrea L. Boone authorizing the mayor or his designee to exercise the first renewal option for agreement SP PS DOF DWM 231112401159 Revenue Recovery Services with the Utility Revenue Management Company on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management for a term of 1 year effective March 13th, 2026, March 12th, 2027, and for other purposes.
Elms ID 39879 to be referred to city utilities.
Next item, Elms ID number 39894, a resolution by Councilmembers Andrea Boone to establish a partnership and Michael Julian Bond, a resolution by Councilmember Andrea Boone and Michael Julian Bond to establish a partnership with the Funk Night Fight Foundation to advance youth development and community engagement in the city of Atlanta and for other purposes.
Elms ID 39894 to be referred to CDHS.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Chair Boone. And I think that concludes our personal papers. Is that correct? Okay. Hearing none, that takes us to our general remarks. And Councilmember Dozier.
Thank you, Madam President. Colleagues, I wanted to invite members of the general public out tomorrow at 6 o'clock p.m. at, I'm sorry, 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock p.m.? I know, I messed up. I was ready. I was ready until I wasn't ready. Tomorrow at 6 o'clock p.m., I want to invite members of the general public to a community meeting in partnership with Districts 12 and Districts 1 on the reimagination and reinvestment of Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard. We are finally moving forward with the Moving Atlanta Forward project, and I want to make sure we get as much community input on that project as possible. And then also save the date. I will continue to remind y'all over the next several meetings, but our very first District 4 Town Hall of the year will be later this month, last day of the month on March the 31st. It will be 6 to 8 p.m. and we'll be hosting it at the Tabernacle. So there will not be an open mic component, but we still want you out there and celebrating with us. And we're also going to feed you. So March 31st, Tuesday at the Tabernacle in downtown Atlanta. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Dozier. Councilmember Lewis.
Just want to send a huge shout out to the young men at South Atlanta High School on their win in the Sweet 16, and they'll be advancing to the Elite 8 this Wednesday. Because they did so good this year, that game is actually going to be at South Atlanta. Hardest part is that they're going to be playing KIP,
And we know that Kip has kids from our community too, so I will have on my purple and teal. Kip wears purple and teal too. And so this Wednesday, please join us at South Atlanta High School in the Michael Reddick Gym, my old coach gym, for a game at 7 p.m. Thank you again, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councilmember Lewis. Councilmember Wayne Martin.
Yes, thank you so much, Madam President. I am announcing and inviting all District 11 residents and Southwest Atlanta stakeholders to our Neighborhood Reinvestment Initiative update with the mayor's office on tomorrow. We will be at OMG Restaurant at 2002 Campbellton Road, Atlanta, GA 30331. This is an opportunity for us to learn more about the initiative and what's possible as we reimagine our communities together. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilmember Martin. Councilmember Amos.
Yes, Madam President, I'd like to invite all District 3 residents and all my colleagues out to the 2026 State of the District Address, District 3, which would take place Wednesday, March 4th from 6:30 to 8:30 at Hunter Hill First Baptist Church. That is 166 Edward Street. So yes, the 2026 State of the District 3 Address this coming Wednesday, March 4th. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Bakhtiari.
Yep. No state of anything, unlike my colleagues. Yes. Which? I just wanted to actually take a moment to wish my partner, Sarah, a belated happy birthday. And yeah, 32, can you believe it? So happy belated birthday, Sarah. Happy I got to celebrate with you.
Nice. Councilmember Alex Wan.
Not to be outdone by Sarah, we should wish Councilmember Bakhtiari a happy birthday. Their birthday is this Friday.
Happy birthday this Friday. Yes. Yep. Councilmember Wan, that's it? All right. Councilmember Ishe Collins.
Just wanted to thank everyone who attended my first Coffee with Collins as a council member. Took place this last Saturday at Portrait Coffee. Really had a great conversation and truly appreciate the transparent conversation with community, but I really truly walked away with a lot of ideas and thoughts moving forward. This is something that the Post 3 office will do quarterly, so I will keep you all posted on where our next Coffee with Collins will be. Thank you everyone who attended.
Thank you. Councilmember Kelsey Bond.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I'm excited to wrap up a very long meeting. I did announce this past weekend, we in District 2, we held a community organizing training with representatives from the Georgia Latino Alliance for Human Rights. Some of their members were speaking during public comment today, and we held a training on what to do in case there are ICE raids in Atlanta to make sure that our neighborhoods and community members are fully equipped with all the knowledge they need, especially with the World Cup coming up. We want to make sure that our communities are organized and we know how to protect our neighbors. And so I wanted to extend the invitation to any other council members who might want to hold a similar training in their district. Happy to connect you with GLAR and help you get a training going.
Any other council members have any more remarks? Okay, with that, Madam Clerk, we are ready for the adjourning roll call.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Madam President. We have Council President Marcy Coley Overstreet.
Present.
See, maybe it's like
Councilmember Matt Westmoreland. Councilmember Ishe Collins. Councilmember Jason H. Winston, District 1. Councilmember Kelsey Bond, District 2. Councilmember Byron D. Amos, District 3. Councilmember Jason Joser, District 4. Councilmember Liliana Bakhtiari, District 5. Councilmember Alex Wan, District 6. Councilmember Thomas Worthy, District 7. Councilmember Mary Norwood, District 8. Councilmember Andrea L. Boone, District 10. Councilmember Wayne Martin, District 11. Present. Councilmember Antonio Lewis, District 12.
Okay. All right. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.